Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to Viewer's Choice. Your selection is about to begin. But first, take a look at what else you can see this week.
Hey, dudes, inviting you to travel through time. First stop, a long layover at the video store.
Bogus.
Wait, you've got Viewer's Choice.
Excellent.
Hello, you rotten little bloodsuckers.
America's most populars now get extra value. $12.50 cash back.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. What? Say what it is.
Let's get out of here, my friend.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
This is my ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. This is the core. Where we broadcast our pirate signal back into the Matrix.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your host, Anesto Morado, the double-headed coin, and your co-host, Pablo Morado, the Thunderbolt. Together, we are the Paramid Podcast.
Have a nice day.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before.
Both candidates also addressing climate change after Hurricane Helene slammed the southeast, killing more than 150 people across 6 states.
A lot of people are justifiably worried about all these crazy weather patterns. I think it's important for us, first of all, to say Donald Trump and I support clean air, clean water. We want the environment to be cleaner and safer.
Senator Vance has said that there's a climate problem in the past. Donald Trump called it a hoax and then joked that these things would make more beachfront property to be able to invest in.
Also a hot button topic.
It is not clear at this point if these are Israeli Iron Dome interceptors or if these are the Iranian missiles that the Israeli the sky up here. We are just a couple of 100 meters from the Lebanese border.
How to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, our babies are going to be in. Because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of having to not go to school for the threat of bombs. Which he's busting in his mouth. I'm saying it like that.
First of all, FEMA is the agency that's responsible for emergency response, but it's also the agency that's responsible for continuity of government. First of all, FEMA is the agency that's responsible for emergency response, but it's also the agency that's responsible for continuity of government.
continuity of government, or COG, is a set of elaborate plans to ensure that no matter what happens, the U.S. government elite and its institutions will survive.
Enemy jet bombers carrying nuclear weapons can sweep over a variety of routes and drop bombs on any important target in the United States.
The plan?
$35 billion. FEMA could be on the hook for picking up much of that tab. However, top agency officials say they are running out of money, and the problem is there's still a long way to go in this hurricane season. News Channel 8 political reporter Ty Russell joining us live from
MSNBC invited a Never Trump voter on air to bash Donald Trump, and they were all shocked when instead of doing that, he said this.
No for you after that. Why was it important for you to say no more Trump because of his January 6th conduct, and do you stand by that?
No, I don't stand by it, and I'll tell you why. I've now lived 4 years under the Biden-Harris policies, and I have to say that those policies are not only becoming an existential threat to our country's way of life, but to our allies as well.
So when you
and it has to.
This is
no,
so
no,
Ambassador,
no.
this is, I'll let you finish, but
no,
this is so striking. You said it was a no for me after that, after January 6th.
I did.
And here we are right now.
I did.
And you're saying it's a yes for you.
It is a yes for me. It is an absolute yes for me. That is how badly the Biden-Harris team have prosecuted their job.
But the whole point you seem to be making was that January 6th and that kind of attack on democracy is bigger than any policy.
I am seeing so many attacks on democracy that eclipse January 6th.
If here we all are, what those are.
I think his face says it all. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Podcast on the internet with your hosts, Anesto and Pablo Morado. Broadcasting to you from the depths of the Nebuchadnezzar and fighting the unseen hand in search of truth. Join us as we go digging in the valley of the real for current events, conspiracies, and paranormal phenomenon. This is the Paramid Podcast. Don't forget to follow us at paranormal.experience on Instagram, at Paramid Podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Paramid Podcast on YouTube. Every follow and like gets us one step closer to exposing the fools of the deep state. So let's light a fire of wisdom and take back our sovereignty.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your hosts, Anesto and Pablo Morado. Welcome to the most banned podcast on the internet. This is show number 104, and we got an explosive podcast for you today. Hit it, Anesto.
How you doing, folks? As we do every single time, this is for you.
That's right, that's right.
Coin dropping from the sky. As you all know, we like to plug first our Paramid supplements.
That's right.
You can go to paramid.store.
You have any brain boost over there? But I definitely need some brain boost for tonight.
Let's see. You got lucky.
Oh. Got a little bit. It looks like I need to subscribe to my brain boost because I'm all out. This will be the final dose for the evening. Anesto, you want one?
No, you can have both.
All right.
So, folks, if you go to paramid.store, you'll see a full line of supplements. Please help yourself, help us on our cast. So, dollar for dollar, every time you spend money on the Paramid store, you help the Paramid podcast. So, with that said, we're going to move along.
That's right.
We have a lot of things going. The hurricane devastation, the backpedaling from FEMA. Zelensky gets his money, Israel gets the money, and the American people get $750. That's it.
That's it. And that sounds like current events. So let's go into our current events segment. Yes, yes. Welcome to the current event segment of the Paramid podcast. So many things have been going on in recent weeks. Where should we begin? We have the debate that happened. We had the bombings that were, or the bombs that were sent in Israel's direction, and then Israel's retaliation and the return of bombs to Lebanon. There's so many things going on. It's insane. It's hard to manage it all. This week we even had dock workers, propose a strike. We had so many things. What would you like to do first?
Not propose a strike. They actually did go.
They actually did go through with a strike. Yeah, that's right. I mean, but did they? It seems like everything is settled up already.
Yes, but for effect, not for the dock workers, but for the election.
Oh well, yeah, that's always the case, right? Well, with that being said, let's see. There's so many things to get into. Let's start with the debate recap. You want to start there?
Sure.
All right, so let's go into the debate recap here. Let me just pull it up. Where is it here? Bear with me, folks. There's so many news articles that have opened at the same time here. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, so what did you saw the debate? What did you think of the debate overall?
I was very pleasantly surprised with the debate.
You were? Okay.
Yes, I was. Because they gave you more substance. It was more on policy, and it was less jabs, and I've always said that, people are saying that the first debate between Trump and Kamala, or Kamala, however it's the right way, because now there's a right way to say her name, so Kamala. I don't see how they look at Kamala winning that debate when she really had no substance to what she was saying. But if you look at it, Trump also, they didn't have much substance, but it's all due to the ridiculous moderators that were asking questions that had nothing to do with what's hurting the American people. So the debate
and ridiculously fact-checking one side and not the other,
Right, and they happened in the second debate as well, but Vance stood his ground.
Right.
He was like, wait a minute.
Right. We agreed to this.
Yeah, and, then they kind of mocked him a little bit.
Right.
CBS are a bunch of scumbags. But
yes.
Nevertheless.
Mr. James O'Keefe caught some CBS and MSNBC people specifically stating that they really are slanting to a particular side, like they admitted it.
Oh, I'm not aware.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's play a little bit, and I'll go into that. Let's play a little bit of the...
What role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her.
Is that you?
She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of the legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is...
That's just a teaser of what's to come.
Well, here we go. So check this out.
Forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before.
Both candidates also addressing climate change after Hurricane Helene slammed the southeast, killing more than 150 people across 6 states.
A lot of people are justifiably worried about all these crazy weather patterns. I think it's important for us, first of all, to say Donald Trump and I support clean air, clean water. We want the environment to be cleaner and safer.
Senator Vance has said that there's a climate problem in the past. Donald Trump called it a hoax and then joked that these things would make more beachfront property to be able to invest in.
Also a hot button topic, the economy.
Kamala Harris and I do believe in the middle class because that's where we come from. We both grew up in that. We understand.
Donald Trump's economic policies delivered the highest take-home pay in a generation in this country, 1.5% inflation.
The candidates also discussing abortion.
Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade.
I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word.
And immigration.
We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies.
Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state and a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug interventions.
And this will likely be the last of.
So, what do you think of that highlight? What do you think was some of the biggest highlights of that reel?
I really don't have like something that really like
stood out.
Between both of them, what I did like is when they asked what's his name? Jeez, I'm having a brain fart. Tim Walz is his name.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked him about
You
him,
sure? There's one brain boost here. You want?
I'll take it. Tim Walz, when they asked him why did he lie about being in Tiananmen Square,
Mm-hmm.
and how he avoided that question all the way.
Oh yeah, he definitely did.
He avoided that.
They're like, wait a minute, didn't you show up in Asia a year after?
He called himself a knucklehead.
But here is the Georgia O'Keefe, or what is his name? O'Keefe. James O'Keefe. Yeah. I don't know why I thought of Georgia. But in any case, James O'Keefe's report of a MSNBC producer. Check this out. And it goes. The reason I bring this up in tandem with the debate is because we all know that the media is slanting everything to the one particular narrative, and this is really putting highlight to that.
Now, let me ask you this,
Mm-hmm.
which I find, downright fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think the media, celebrities alike,
Mm-hmm.
are so slanted towards the Democrat and leftist way of thinking?
I think it mainly because of money. Money is one thing. A lot of the people, they realize that if they go against the narrative, they could lose their opportunity, their jobs, their way of living. I mean,
how?
Well, the same way that me not wanting to get a jab had broken up a years long, a really long friendship, family friendship overnight, because I was more one way politically than he was. So that is what a lot of people face in those rooms, is that you present a different idea and they feel uncomfortable about it, and then you ended up getting.
But why is that? Isn't the American lifestyle, the American ideals,
mm-hmm.
what we were founded on,
right,
is the fact that we have the freedom of choosing whatever party you want to support. That shouldn't. It shouldn't inhibit you if you go Republican or Democrat.
Well, their mentality is that at one point that might have been a freedom that you had, but when one party is racist then you shouldn't have the ability to choose a racist party.
So they believe the Republicans are racist.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, they do.
And what are the examples of what do they use as an example of Republican racism?
Well, let me find out here. Let's see.
Because I would tend to believe that Republic.
All right, this is
the
60
least
minutes.
racist. It was Republicans.
You said that Donald Trump has catalyzed a very dark aspect of the Republican Party.
Yep.
And that you wanted to look away from that.
There were parts of the GOP that we have to look at and be honest about what it was. We didn't, as a broad party, look at the people in parts of the base in the South and parts of the Midwest who were not motivated by free markets or limited government or individual liberty. They were motivated by racial animus. And there is a part of it that's out there. And we have to look at it honestly. And I look back and I saw, Ronald Reagan years ago saying there's no place in this Republican Party for anti-Semitism or the Klan or racial hatred. And on and on and on. But we still had some of those people in the base, and we never purged them. And we should have purged them. We never did it. Got to own it. Now, Donald Trump has played footsie with these people from the beginning. Remember, in the 2016 campaign, it took Donald Trump 2.5 weeks to denounce David Duke. How do you denounce David Duke? You denounce David Duke instantaneously. You don't wait 2 weeks.
Well, you did a
That's a brief overview. It was a quick video that I found. Let me see if they have any other reason.
But let's give a little discussion to this because I'm very fascinated by this topic. Why is the media? First of all, why is the media so against Donald Trump?
Well,
why is the media so against?
Because he called them fake news.
Okay, but I'm getting to that.
Which he was right.
Why is the media so against Donald Trump? Why is the media so against Republicans? Why are they so biased? And what do they have to gain? I'm curious.
Well, here's a report. You
Because
might
they say, "Oh, Republicans are for the rich."
Right.
Right? Republicans are not for us, for the middle class. But celebrities are rich.
Right.
So wouldn't you think that they would support a party that supports them? Supposedly they support the rich. I'm getting somewhere with this.
Yeah.
And where I'm getting...
Well, you want to know my real perspective?
Sure, and then I give you mine.
Okay. I believe that the Chinese government has infiltrated the Democratic Party and has been slowly paying off certain industries, which then trickles down to the actors, which because if they go against the studio, which is paying their checks, then they lose opportunities to roles into certain things. And therefore, you have people silencing themselves or not participating in certain conversations or going for a particular candidate specifically because they know that if they continuously push one narrative, then they continuously get more roles, and that only supports the studios because they're getting paid by China. Why are they getting paid by China? Because, they have billions of people in their country that consume our products, our media products. They watch our WWE, they watch our movies, they watch our things. And therefore, because they watch our stuff, they have to play ball because apparently a lot of money is coming from China.
Okay.
That's my perspective.
I'm on the same thread. I'm on like minds with you, and I'm of the thinking that yes, most of these celebrities have been bought off, and I believe this is why they're so biased and Republican hating.
I mean, we also have to put light because, in recent days, we have this whole Diddy debacle, right? And everyone's like, some people are like, all right, that we kind of knew that was going on, like people like us. And then you had people that were like, oh my God, this is going on in the industry. That's what goes on. But that's Diddy. And I feel like that scandal is in all the famous people. Like all these famous people are connected to that broader network of, that depravity and the Satanism and all that other stuff. And it's just the tip of the iceberg, what we're finding out with Diddy. I mean, what better example is Jeffrey Epstein hanging out with Bill Clinton?
And not only with Bill Clinton, but
I'm saying if he's hanging out
a myriad of people,
but if he's buddy with the president of the United States, both of them, because he was buddy with Trump as well, it makes me think that not everybody in that industry is playing a role or taking part in this satanic cult. And I think that satanic cult is being fueled by China because they see that, if they keep funding this satanic cult, then we're just going to eat ourselves up, and that's what they want.
Well, this is my take on it. I'm following you in the fact that, yes, most of these celebrities and athletes alike have been bought off by China, right? And a lot of them been bought off by China through different routes, because I believe China and the Saudis are one and the same. I believe that China, Russia, and the Saudis are one and the same. And they're funneling their monies, in different ways to convince these celebrities and athletes and newsmakers and producers and anchors and all those people who are totally biased in their thinking, and they're so left that you sometimes you say, but how much left can they go?
No, there's more apparently.
But this is my hypothesis.
Okay.
My opinion. I think for the public, because they're actually bought off, people like Bruce Springsteen, who just backed Kamala Harris.
Right.
I don't think he's voting for her. I think this is just a facade. A lot of them carry a facade. Like, yeah, vote Kamala, vote Kamala, vote Kamala. Vote Democrat, vote Democrat, vote Democrat. But in reality, when they go to the polls, maybe they're hitting the Republican.
Maybe.
Because all they're doing is pandering. These people love to pander. They pander to their base. They pander to the people that...
As if they go to the polls. They probably just don't even vote.
I would say that as well. But if they do, I think they might vote in their own interest, for their own interest. So since they're saying, Republicans are just for the rich, well, you know what? They're rich.
Right.
So they're voting in, but they're not going to tell you that. Why they're not going to tell you that? because you're the dummy who is spending money on them.
Right.
You're spending your money and your time on them. You know, so the Swifties, dumbest people on the planet.
Oh no! You're alienating people here.
That's a cult. This Swifties thing. Okay, her music is okay, but if Taylor Swift says jump, they jump. If Taylor Swift says do this, they do that. Come on, listen to her music, be a fan. But this Swiftie nonsense, come on, people. They're bigger fish to fry than Taylor Swift. You know, Taylor Swift is the person isn't she the one that says we're killing the planet, global warming, and all this nonsense?
Well, I have a video I just looked up out of curiosity. I looked up the Swifties cult. And this is interesting. Hold on, I've never seen this before.
You could safely be on this planet if you hurt her feelings, okay?
Taylor Swift is their personality.
Her TikTok has Morse code in it. The clock went from pink to orange in Paris. Time has been reset.
Yeah, there are a growing number of people who go to see Taylor Swift on tour, and they're suffering, they say, from amnesia.
Taylor Swift fans fall into 3 categories: casual fans, Swifties, and cult members. Casual fans are people like your mom. Swifties are your generic pop music fans, and cult members are people unaware that they've entered a parasocial relationship with the artist. For cult members, Taylor Swift is a way of life. They refer to her as mother, regularly discuss how they only listen to her music, and view attending the Eras tour as a pilgrimage for them to make, with many spending whatever it takes to be in the same arena as her, with fans unable to get tickets spending their evening listening to her from the parking lot. These cult members fail to discern what
possesses somebody to
See, now am I wrong saying that the Swifties are the dumbest people on the planet? Hey, I'm a Duran. I like Duran. I like Pink Floyd. You know, but if I see Roger Waters, am I gonna piss in my pants? Dude, he's human, just like me. Yo, you're talented.
Right.
You're good. Your music has gave me much joy.
Right.
You know, you're
gonna go.
Look, I'll go from Pink Floyd to Mozart. Now I see Mozart. I'm walking and I see the actual Mozart. I might piss my pants. Why?
Because he's been dead.
Because he's been dead for centuries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm going to see Taylor Swift and I'm going to bawl about it. And something's wrong there. Something's wrong. Is cultish, is weird. But before I lose my train of thought, isn't she the person that like save our planet? We are destroying our planet, global warming. We're the meat eaters are the bad guy and all this nonsense, right?
Well, I maybe, let's see. I have here a video. I personally am not aware.
Taylor Swift just donated so much money to a UK charity, she changed the country forever, and you won't believe how much it was. Taylor has been known to be a generous person, like in 2011 when she donated $70,000 in books to her hometown library. But that's nothing compared to how much she donated to the UK, and you have to hear it at the end. Taylor also gave $50,000 in song proceeds to NYC schools, and in 2016 she even pledged $1 million to Louisiana flood relief. disbelief. But when Taylor revealed how much money she gave to the UK, the Swifties were absolutely shocked because they had no idea Taylor was that rich. But before Taylor donated to the UK, she gave every one of her employees a $100,000 bonus. Taylor finally revealed how much money she donated to the UK, though, and she did more for the UK than the government had in the past 14 years. But Taylor donated enough money to cover food bills.
All right, this is getting a little bit.
For an entire year across 11 food banks in Liverpool, England. Taylor Swift just
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
they didn't say. What was it? How much?
I'm just saying that she champions this whole green.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was gonna go into.
You know, she's always saying, "Save the planet. We're destroying the planet. Global warming and all that stuff." Because I'm getting somewhere with this.
Well, look at this one here.
Is Taylor Swift really the biggest celebrity polluter of the year? Pop sensation Taylor Swift has recently been under fire for her carbon footprint. Critics claim her private jet travels to see her boyfriend Travis Kelce have resulted in a whopping 8,293.54 tons of CO2 emissions. That's 1,184.8 times more than the average person's total annual emissions. Swift's team has responded stating that her jet is regularly loaned out to others, so attributing all these trips solely to her might not be entirely accurate. In response to the backlash, Swift is now turning to carbon offsets to reduce her environmental impact. But the question remains, are carbon offsets enough to counterbalance the environmental effects of private jet use?
Well, I guess she's not the planet saver that she claims that she is.
Well,
watch this giant snake make its way through the crowd.
I'm saying she does claim that.
She's like, nothing here is making that claim here.
Watch this giant snake make its way through the crowd.
That's so stupid. Oh, that's crazy. You saw that?
No.
So they basically are using their cell phones. They're using their cell phones to create like a giant snake that they're like putting up their cell phone screens.
Oh, like a wave?
Yeah. Interesting.
That was a cool effect, though.
It was a cool effect. But in any case, going back to, because we digressed, I was looking to see if I could find a video that corroborates the whole idea that Taylor Swift is somebody that's going to be, that projects themselves as saving the planet. But I don't. Look at this. Kanye West saves Taylor Swift's life from Beyonce. What is that? You heard this? I think we're digressing quite a bit here.
Well, anyway, let me finish my thought.
Yeah.
That video said it all. She travels so much on her plane to see her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I think that the Swifties are a little bit nutty, besides the fact that they piss in their pants every time they think about her, and this woman is not really doing anything for them.
Right.
Except providing music. But her and her boyfriend, they were like across, they were like somewhere like, where were they? I think they were in Kentucky, somewhere in the middle of the country. And they said that they were, they decided they were hungry and they wanted to eat pizza. They took their jet, they flew to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They went to this fancy pizzeria in Brooklyn, where like a small pizza the size of a the plates they put under the teacup, about that size, cost you about $50.
Okay.
They ordered their pizzas, they enjoyed it, they got back on the plane, and they went back to where they came from. That doesn't seem like a person to me that's concerned about the planet.
No, but I mean, if you had that kind of money to do so, wouldn't you?
I'm not a global warming nut.
But
if I can get on a plane and go to Egypt and back so that I can have some, chicken from Egypt.
Mhm.
I'll do it if I have the money and the jet. But I'm not a global warming nut. We can't do nothing about global warming.
Right.
We're hitting that pocket in that universe that is just hot.
Right.
There's nothing we could do. So I'm not into I don't fall prey to all that propaganda. But the reason that I again, coming back
Mhm.
is, Swifties for Kamala.
Mhm.
And because Taylor Swift said, vote for Kamala, all these young people are just blindly putting their vote, or supposedly, because I don't know how many young people vote,
Mhm.
but they're blindly putting their vote for Kamala because Swift says so. And if Swift might change her mind
Mhm.
and say, you know what, I changed my mind, vote for Trump. They might even do that.
Right. They likely would.
So my question remains,
Mhm.
are these celebrities and the media and this whole propaganda machine real? Do they really believe what they tell you? Or this is just a facade? And then reality, when they go to the polls, they really vote.
What they really believe.
Yeah.
Well, take a look at this clip from James O'Keefe, and maybe this will get you closer to that answer. All right, so let's see.
So do you feel like MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can.
Meet Basil Hamden, a writer and producer for MSNBC's weekend show, Hyman. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message of the day.
Hamden revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamden says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
So is MSNBC just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected?
Yes. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
Are they just the Democratic Party's mouthpiece?
Exactly.
MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years.
Viewers get mad at the guests or the host if the host were to criticize Democrats. They've made their viewers dumber over the years. I think brainwashing and dumbing down.
It's bad.
Aggressive.
I get it.
Helps Trump.
When she's delivering these messages now, I think she keeps getting better.
Kamala Harris is telling the truth. The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. They purposefully pronounce her name wrong.
But as a black woman, the product of a mixed marriage, she's an inspiration.
I don't know, Nicole, vote for her or don't vote for her, but isn't it great to just have a positive...
Good report. I like this. What is the right way to say her name? Is her name like Kamala? Like, I always thought it was like, instead of you saying Pamela,
Right.
you just stick a K in front of it.
Kamala. Right.
Or is it Kamala?
I mean, you have to think of it because she's Indian descent, right?
Right.
So it must be an Indian name, right?
Okay.
So how would Indians pronounce it?
Kamala.
Well, there you go. That's the right way to pronounce.
So it's Kamala.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, why do
I
they
don't
make
know.
such a big deal? Why do people put such a big deal on names? You know how many times I get a day with my government? Should I pronounce it like this or should I pronounce it like that? I'm like, they're both the same people. They're both the same man.
Right.
Is it this or is it that? I'm like, you choose.
Right.
I'm named after the same man.
Right.
Either in Spanish or English.
Right.
Hebrew, whatever. I'm named after him.
Right.
So however you call him, you can call me. Not that I'm him, but I was named after him.
Right.
Oh, no, you're Spanish, so you're meant. I'm like, dude.
What does that make a difference?
Yeah, I'm named after him. How do you call him? Like they think it's wrong. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that in English. No. I'm like, dude, if we're in a place of worship in Spanish, we say it like this.
Right.
So when you're in a place of worship in Spanish, in English, how do you say it? Well, I say it like this. Then
Well,
that's
that's
my
what
name.
it is. Right.
Simple.
Yeah, very simple, but they complicate it.
It's like, you know, I'm named after Superman's father. Did you put the little hyphen in? What do you care? This is my name. I'm named. You know.
Yeah.
Is it Jose or Jose?
Right.
What do you feel comfortable saying? Well, I kind of like Jose. Well, then there it is.
There. Yeah, I think Brian Regan has a whole bit on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, how people like to go over with their pronunciations and stuff. And, you know, he tries to, people try to overcomplicate their pronunciation of their name for no reason. You know, and it's like, no, I'm not Ashley, I'm Ashley. You know, like little things like that.
Yeah, like, dude, what's like?
Yeah, so this report is going into the fact that the MSNBC producer is basically admitting to the fact that they are marching to the drum of the Democratic Party.
Let's finish off this because I'm fascinated by this.
All right, so let me put it back up here.
Conversation right now.
Last week, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris's first mainstream media solo interview of her presidential run with MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle. Many people were stating how much of a softball interview it was. Here's a clip from that.
I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I
have. Okay.
With that,
God. I know this is a dog and pony show. Replay that.
Oh my God. All right, here we go.
Sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's. Yes or no? That's it.
Special.
Is it me? Or wouldn't you like just to like
what does that have to do with anything?
I mean, for Christ's sake. What kind of question is this?
The first question. Before they even get started, that's their
and
question.
look how excited she gets. Play it one more time.
All right, hold on.
Look at that smile.
Of course, YouTube doesn't like it when we go back and forth here. Hold on.
Oh my Lord, you might.
Have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it. I have. Okay.
with that,
This is the person we're voting for? This is what you want to put in the White House?
Then they don't care if she served in military or in office or how she served the people. They want to know if she served what was it? Pickles, lettuce, special sauce, special cheese.
Sesame seed bun. Una pecosa, coño. Estúpida.
Oh, man.
I would have said, can we go on? You know, like, can we go on?
There's more important matters to discuss.
People are suffering right now.
Right. That's embarrassing. As a matter of fact, that's embarrassing. How do you bring up that I worked at McDonald's?
Well, she didn't. Put it back. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, man.
Point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay.
With that, OMG decides to...
habladora. Mentirosa. You lying sack of shit. You've never worked at a McDonald's. It's all fabricated. People have gone in and asked. They went deep. They fact-checked her. She's never worked at McDonald's. Habladora, coño.
The thing to make up. Why make that up?
Because it endears people like me and you who work hard. And
I think people that actually have any accomplishment.
And don't have a boyfriend named Willie Brown. I'm just...
But anybody that has any kind of accomplishment, like... people of Donald Trump's status, they'll be mortified if you ever ask them, have you worked at a McDonald's?
Why?
Because that's not something that a lot of people of the higher echelon, they don't want that. They don't want to be associated with the down, dirty.
If I worked in a McDonald's, right, and I become a Jeff Bezos, that's a feather in my cap.
To somebody like us, but to them and their
and to them, to the high elite up there, it's a smack in their face. I'll be like, guess what? I wasn't born into this shit.
Right, but they don't. But they don't like that. They try to downplay that.
By that faction, by what you're saying, right, is exactly the reason that Kamala Harris said that she's working in McDonald's to appeal.
Lying at that, you know.
Yeah, to appeal to people like us who are, you know, struggling and the only meal they might get is, you know, the value meal off of McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even step foot in McDonald's, to be honest. I would never want to be associated with McDonald's because of the fact.
Don't tell that to Donald Trump.
I mean, that's just...
Donald Trump this is his menu almost every day.
that
2 fillet of fish, a sack of fries.
I mean, that is a miracle in itself. The fact that he is still kicking with that disgusting food. That's not even food. That's not even food, to be honest.
I know we're getting distracted, but guess who was voted the most unhealthy burger in the United States?
And it's not McDonald's?
Nope.
Burger King?
Nope.
Then what?
Five Guys.
Five Guys.
Google it.
The most unhealthy burger.
The most ranked the most unhealthy burger in the United States.
Why? Why would they be the most unhealthy?
Well, they're going to tell you in whatever report you pull up.
Okay, let's see. Well, you're not wrong. Hold on, let me minimize this. You're not wrong. It says here, according to a study by Plush Care, the Five Guys cheeseburger is the unhealthiest burger in the United States, Five Guys scored 50 points on the unhealthiness scale, which is based on calories, sugar, saturated fat, and sodium. Five Guys cheeseburger has 73% more saturated fat than other fast food cheeseburgers. Huh.
So check it out.
How is that?
By that study, right? By their study, a viable option.
McDonald's and Burger King tied for 14th. That's something. There's something wrong here. Whataburger, Smash Burger.
Check this out. The Culver's
Sonic is 5th on the list.
Check this out. Look at the bottom. The Culver's Butterburger is considered the healthiest fast food burger with 390 calories, 7 grams of saturated fats, and 6 grams of sugar and 480 milligrams of sodium, which I've had.
Culver's?
Yes.
I've never had Culver's.
They're absolutely delicious.
Culver's. I've never.
That's where I go.
Is there a Culver's out here?
No. Culver's stems out of Wisconsin.
Okay.
And they have them in Tampa. So when I go to Florida, I make it my business to have a Culver's. They're very good. They're delicious. The Butterburger is delicious.
Okay. I've never been to a Culver's.
But right below Culver's being right below Culver's being, what is Culver's ranked as far as the unhealthy? What number are they?
It doesn't say. They're one of the most healthiest apparently, but it doesn't say.
But what they're trying to say is that following Culver's, a viable option, if you want a healthy burger, don't go to Five Guys, go to McDonald's.
Wow. That's
so to
a
me,
load of
it's like
shit.
a big propaganda machine or some kind of lobbyist is trying to push McDonald's. And
Okay, a study conducted by PlushCare identified the closest resembling cheeseburgers at 24 leading U.S. fast food chains. Using each chain's nutritional menu, researchers compared to the calorie, sugar, saturated fat, and sodium content based on the Department of Health's nutrient profiling method. Then they scored the menu's items and added up each of the product's total unhealthiness score at each fast food chain and ranked them across the restaurants. The higher score, the more unhealthy the cheeseburger. Slow-cooked, lean ground beef on a multigrain bun does offer nutritious benefits and can... So what is it saying here? According to the research, some fast food restaurants left room for improvement, particularly Five Guys, which scored the #1 spot in the ranking of the unhealthiest cheeseburgers with a 50-point unhealthiest score. Whataburger, Smash Brother, Carl's Jr. trailed behind. Slow-cooked lean ground beef on a multigrain bun does offer nutritious benefits and can, in fact, be a part of a healthy diet, providing protein, iron, and vitamin B12. But the World Health Organization has found red meat and ultra-processed foods can be carcinogenic, which study hints that you're getting with fast food cheeseburger. So they're saying that it's the beef itself that's unhealthy.
because it has like supposedly a lot of fat.
So it's the actual beef. I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. That the beef itself is unhealthy, and therefore,
Well, read it again.
it says slow cooked, lean ground beef on a multigrain bun does offer nutritious benefits, and it can in fact be a part of a healthy diet, providing protein and vitamin B12. But the World Health Organization, who has found red meat and ultra-processed foods to be carcinogenic, which the study hints may be what you're getting with a fast food cheeseburger.
So yeah, for years they've been saying that red meat is bad for you.
But yeah, you have people that all they eat is red meat and they look healthy and have less issues dietarily.
But if you go to the Trello, I know we're diverting from the but this is a podcast.
Right.
You know, if you don't like it, there's a lot of other podcasts out there, but we're gonna
This is my show.
This is my show, and I'm interested in nasty burgers. Go to the Trello.
Okay.
And go to show 104.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
Goddamn right.
All right. So, all right. You said show 104. All right.
And go to number 8.
All right. Number 8. Five Guys. Here we go.
That looks pretty unhealthy. Look at that.
Well, who eats their burger like that?
I don't know, but that's a Five Guys burger. Like, pause it right there. Look at that.
Yeah, but every burger looks like that.
Man, that doesn't look too appetizing. Look at that. That's a heart attack right there.
Well, maybe we are digressing here, but how do we get to burgers at Five Guys in the first place?
Oh, because I was gonna, where I was heading with this is the propaganda. You understand how the propaganda can sway you? Now we've heard that Five Guys is the most unhealthy burger, and a viable option would be McDonald's. But this is all propaganda, and if you fall for it, I mean, burgers in general are bad for you. Why? Because they're loaded with calories.
Right.
You know, the burger itself, I believe if you have just a burger without the cheese, without the fries,
right,
without the bread. But then again, where is this burger coming from, and how do they make the burger? Because burger is ground beef. Lord knows what they put in that ground beef.
Yeah, there's no videos corroborating this, but I mean, it was on some study, but there's no videos on there that I could point to that show this. But I mean, I don't see how Five Guys is much more unhealthy than Burger King. Look at this Burger King burger. Let's see this.
What fast food burger is the least likely to kill you? On a list of obviously unhealthy choices, which option is technically the healthiest of the bunch? Because let's be honest, not all fast food is created equally. Is the Burger King sitting atop that throne? Is everyone going to be clowning on McDonald's? Or are regional favorites like In-N-Out and Whataburger going to take the day? You know what they say, a cheeseburger a day keeps the cardiologist in pay. That's the thing that they say, right? Well, I just said it. And one of these burgers is going to keep that paycheck out of his hands a little bit longer. We looked at the data, crunched the numbers, and I suspect our findings today will forever change which drive-thru you choose when you're out for a late-night bite. Spoiler alert, you're just never going to want to go to Burger King again.
Well, it says here Burger King is the worst burger in America, but I don't know.
You won't believe who has the most unhealthy burger in America. According to a recent report, the answer actually is Five Guys. So Five Guys ranked with a score of 50, and the unhealthiness score was based on energy, saturated fat, total sugar, and sodium. Now, I think this is kind of a flawed metric here, because Five Guys is the most unhealthy with a score of 50, but then down here at the bottom, you'll see that McDonald's nearly has the most healthy burger in America with a score of 18. This seems to be an imperfect science to me, because why is Five Guys 3 times as unhealthy as McDonald's? Make it make sense. You won't believe who has the most unhealthy burger.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that.
I'll tell you why.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Because I don't see them using all these chemicals that McDonald's and everybody else uses.
I'll tell you why. You want to know why this report makes perfect sense?
Okay, tell me.
Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to use some visuals.
Okay.
Right? Play that video that I said, man, that's a pretty, looks unhealthy. That Five Guys, that guy.
Hold on.
In the 5th grade.
Hold on, my apologies. Hold on. Where is it?
It was in the Trello.
Yeah, I got it here.
Well, anyway, you don't even have to go through that. Look at all these burgers. Okay, I'll tell you. Stop it.
Hold on.
Okay, it's right there. Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Of course, Five Guys is going to be the most unhealthy burger. Because McDonald's gives you a burger the size, the thinness of a paper.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually no burger in a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little thing.
Right.
So
But that you can't make that say.
You're just getting a taste of a burger.
Right, but you can't
You're
even.
actually just having bread and mayo.
Right.
And
yeah, but the bread is the worst part.
Right. But caloric. I mean, you're not getting a burger with McDonald's.
Right, but calorically maybe it's I don't even think calorically it's better, but even if it was better calorically, chemically it's still worse for you.
Yeah, because a little bit of burger that you are getting is loaded with all these chemicals to make you want more and more and more.
Exactly.
But the reason that Five Guys might be more unhealthy, I mean, for Christ's sake, Jackson Hole burgers then are unhealthy. Because they give you burger.
Right. They give you more burger than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we digress.
We digress. Yes, we have digressed.
Propaganda is king. And if you follow propaganda, you become a Swiftie. And from a Swiftie, you become a zombie. And then you just do whatever Taylor Swift tells you. So if Taylor Swift tells you Five Guys is a bad burger, that's bad news for Five Guys.
And that concludes our current event. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts, and that is the AM/PM game show.
But. I mean, we covered some current events, but after the game show, we got to unpack a little bit about the storm.
Of course.
And how FEMA. Anyhow.
Yes, absolutely. We'll get into that in the conspiracy segment.
There we go.
But we'll go into our AM/PM game.
Welcome to the AM/PM game show where Pablo and Anesto Morado attempt to determine what is going on in a video found online. Using only their ears and their third eye, the host will make a guess on what is going on. If the host gets guesses correctly, they receive $20,000 of a fiat currency that no longer exists. So what do you say, folks? Shall we play a game?
Radio is theater of the mind. Radio is theater of the mind. Radio is theater of the mind. But radio is theater of the mind. It's imagination. It's imagination. It's imagination. Radio is is theater of the mind. Is theater of the mind.
That's
Yes,
right.
folks.
Radio
Welcome.
is theater of the mind.
So in this show, for newcomers, what we do is we play a video, and we only play the video with just the audio.
Right.
To see what your theater of the mind comes up with. And then if you guess right, then you can win some prizes.
That's right.
We get a ding, 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 or an But if you out there can guess the right guess the right
What is
clip,
going on in
what's
the clip?
going on in the clip,
Right.
we will send you a booby prize.
Which is anything from our our stores. That means the Paramid supplements and gear to come. So, see you smirking over there.
It'll come out. It'll come out.
But with that being said,
all right, I'm gonna go first. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So again, we are in the AM PM show where we play theater of the mind.
Right.
We play a clip, the audio only, and you have to guess what's going on this clip. So with that said, and no further ado, here we go.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You see this? I don't know. Oh wow. This is golden. Oh wow. Oh wow, it's starting to fight. Shut. Y'all, there are people filming left and right. Oh my god. Oh, he's nervous. What the heck is happening? Jeez. He said leave alone, it's just a turtle. Oh my gosh.
So
I'm a bit stumped here. What
do you think is going on this clip?
Stop it. Oh my god. Shut up. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Oh my god.
I'm guessing. My guess is that somebody's broken down in the middle of the road, and everyone's pissed off at her, but she has really no choice. Her car is basically stuck there. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing.
Would you like for me to play the clip just a little longer?
Just a little longer, yeah, sure.
Oh my god. You see this? I don't know. Oh wow. This is golden. Oh wow. Oh wow, it's starting to fight. Shut. Y'all, there are people filming left and right.
Wait, go back a sec. Go back a.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, hold on. Let's see. Here we go.
I feel like a spectator is describing the scene here.
Oh my god. You see this? I don't know. Oh wow. This is golden. Oh wow. Oh wow, it's starting to fight. Shut Y'all, there are people filming left and right. Oh my god. Oh, he's nervous. What the heck is happening?
Yeah, that's my final answer. That she broke down in the middle of the road and people are just irate that she's just not doing anything about it.
All right, folks. I see that somebody has tuned in to our Instagram feed. This is my Instagram feed, but if you go to paranormal.experience, you could catch the live show with all the bells and whistles. I know whoever's watching this feed is just, looking at me and I'm not saying anything. It's because Pablo is playing audio and so
And
am
vice
I.
versa on my feed. I'm going live on my Instagram. And if you're just hearing myself, then you have to go to YouTube at the Paramid Podcast Live to get all the bells and whistles.
Okay, for people on my feed, go to the Paramid Podcast
Live on YouTube.
So we're not live right now on Instagram?
Yeah,
on
we are.
Paranormal.experience?
On Paranormal.experience, we are.
Okay.
But also on my stream and on YouTube.
And are we on Facebook Live?
Your Facebook, yes.
Okay, so if you go to Anesto Morado, you'll see on my profile, you'll see the live feed. So here we go.
So, yeah, that was my final
Your final
guess.
answer, somebody's broken down and people are honking the horn and there's
Right.
nothing that she can do about it.
Right.
Again, folks, this is the AM PM show where we play Theater of the Mind. We play a clip, audio only, and we got to guess what is going on the clip. So if you go to the Trello, you're going to hit under Ask Pablo, Human Turtle.
Human turtle. Okay, let's see. Human nunchuck. Oh, no, human nunchucks. Human turtle. Where is that?
Towards the bottom.
Oh, there it goes. All right, here we go. All right, folks, here we go. What is going on in this clip?
Hit the audio on the bottom.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my God.
Oh my god. You see this? I don't know. Oh wow. This is golden. Oh wow. Oh wow, it's starting to fight. Shut. Y'all, there are people filming left and right. Oh my god. Oh, he's nervous. What the heck is happening? He said leave him alone.
Okay, so for those that are listening, there is a man dressed in a turtle costume crawling across the road, blocking traffic.
And he's crawling at a turtle pace.
At a turtle at a turtle pace. Now they're arguing about what to do with this guy.
Oh my gosh. There are people filming this. Stop it. Oh my god. Shut up. I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
Okay, but hold on. I mean, it's funny, but where does she get the right to put her hands on him?
She don't.
I mean, where does she get the gonads?
The hoods from?
Yeah. to do that. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe she thinks that he's nuts and she's trying to do some
and
good.
you made it worse because now everyone has to wait even longer.
Right. He was almost across the street.
Yeah. Just let him do what he's gonna do.
So
what if he was a mentally ill guy or something? I mean, you don't know that.
You don't.
I mean, clearly he must be.
Unless he's a prankster.
Unless he's a prankster.
And this is what he wanted to do, is get on the AM PM show.
And that I get unfortunately.
Now, folks, now it's my turn to get into the hot seat.
Yes.
As I go into Theater of the Mind to see what Pablo plays.
What in the world is going on in this clip? Let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, it's a quick one here.
It was that quick? Wow. That's not even dipping my toe in there. Play it again. One more time. Wow, this could be anything.
What does your mind tell you?
One more time. Well, it sounds like they're outside, and I'm hearing like moving traffic.
Mm-hmm. One more time.
I'm saying maybe in traffic somebody hit. Maybe there's an accident. The clip is not doesn't lend to Theater of the Mind for me because it's too quick.
What is your mind
I'm
getting?
seeing something that happened to me once. And, you know, this guy opens the door and a car hits the door.
Okay.
And blasts the door open.
I think your Theater of the Mind hat is working.
Really?
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right, here we go. I'm going to put this up on the screen.
Oh.
So for Theater of the Mind, what is going on here?
This guy has a fancy Ferrari. He's backing up.
Mm-hmm.
And unbeknownst to him, there's a pole, a support pole in the parking garage. And he just teared his side mirror off. That's like about $1,000 mistake right there.
Or more.
Or more.
Yep. So I give you
all right. It was working a bit.
Yeah,
I didn't get it exactly, but I was close.
You were close. That's right.
All right. So let's see what I have for you. Okay, let me see. So many good ones here. All right, I'll give you this guy.
One more time.
One more time.
Huh. Well, it sounds like a guy showing off in front of paparazzi his martial arts talent.
Wow. Your theater of the mind is working. You want some more audio?
Sure, if there's more.
So is that your final answer?
Yeah, I think it's a guy practicing or doing his martial arts moves in front of paparazzi, I feel like.
Okay, so if you go to the Trello,
all right,
you're gonna see Giuseppe Lee.
Giuseppe Lee. All right, let's see. Ask. Here we go. Pablo, Giuseppe Lee. Here we go. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm putting it up on screen.
What the heck is happening?
Was that me or was
That was me. That was me.
All right, so here we go.
That's Giuseppe Lee.
Well, he knows how to swing them.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got partial credit. What do you think?
I think you can give yourself a think. There you go.
All right, so you ready for my last one?
Yes.
All right, so let me grab that here. This should be a good one here for you. All right, let's see. Here we go. What is going on in this clip? Let's see. Oh, hold on. I accidentally closed it out. Hold on.
So, folks, the proper way to play the game is you close your eyes, open up your mind, open up your theater of the mind as you let the audio stream through so that you can discern what's going on.
What is going on in this clip? All right.
All right. Damn, these quick ones. One more time. Wow, that's a hard one. All my mind is coming up with is like some guys like trying to scare somebody else, and like they're scaring them.
Remember, you have to kind of like remote view, like whatever comes to your mind. First thing that comes to
Play it one more time.
whatever comes to mind. First thing that comes to mind.
I'm seeing like some guy like hiding behind a wall and saying, "Blee!" and somebody running.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, here we go. All right. Here we go. Putting this up on screen. All right.
I was totally off on this one. Ouch.
Super Theater of the Mind. What is going on here?
Something that I would never do. This guy is feeding his snake with obviously a dead mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got tongs. But instead of the snake snapping at the mouse, he snaps at the guy's finger.
Yeah.
Ow. But how did that happen? Because his fingers are holding the tongs.
Right.
Ow. So what do you think that the snake missed?
I just think that the snake went after him because he had like I don't know.
Finger? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess he wanted the bigger prey.
I think he was going for the mouse and missed. Maybe the guy moved. Let's look at it one more time.
Maybe.
Okay, so how does the video end?
That's just it. That's all there is.
Ouch.
His mistake is, why did you dangle that mouse? Just let it do its thing.
Yeah, just throw it in there and let him take care of business.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be spoon. He doesn't want to do like your mom, the way.
Right.
Como you quiere comer?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what is see? What did you say? It was a guy pranking, so you get a.
I was totally off.
That's right. Did you have any
bonus rounds? Bonus, I want.
What I was thinking of was the "Are you going to hell?"
Oh, are you going to hell? Okay, hold on. Let's prepare for this, because now we go from theater of the mind.
That's right.
So we play a video that it's not supposed to be meant to be funny, because if you laugh, you will go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
So our resident demon will give you a couple of answers.
The elevator is going down.
That's if you laugh once.
Welcome to my chambers.
If you laugh twice, you're in hell. But if you do not even smirk, our resident demon, we call him, what was it that we call him? Lucy.
Lucy. Yeah, Lucy.
I will get you next time.
So if you don't laugh, he will get you next time.
All right.
All right. So with that being said, let's see what I have in the chambers. Let's see. All right, I got one for you.
Waiting on you.
Okay. Number 3.
Number 3.
Watch your step.
All right.
I think this is. Hold on, before you do that.
All right.
Let me just verify.
Okay.
Yep, that's the one.
All right. So what is it?
Watch your step.
Watch your step. Are you going to hell? Let's see.
Number 3.
All right, here we go. try this again. Let's see.
I can't stop watching it.
One more time.
I can't stop watching it.
I'm going to hell. Just play. I can't stop watching this either. Just
Oh, man.
Real. Thank you, real.
Oh, man. You got yourself with that one.
damn, the elevator's going down on me.
Oh, man.
That was Joe Biden, by the way.
That was?
Yes, that's why it's funny. It's Joe Biden.
Oh, my God.
Play it one more time.
Oh, my God. I didn't even catch that it was Joe Biden. Let me go back.
He's right there and about to do a meeting amongst.
Oh, man.
He's
All right.
amongst his it's like some kind of UN gathering. If you notice, it's like, look, yeah, boom. See on the
On this day, Biden, really? Wow.
I can't stop watching it.
Oh, man. Okay, let's see if I got a good one here for you. I have so many good ones. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this one, in perfect theme. Are you gonna go to hell watching this clip?
Are you going to hell?
All right, I'm gonna put this up on screen here. All right. Let's see. Hold on. There it goes. Okay. What happened here? All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. They're not seeing this. Hold on. All right, here we go. For theater of the mind, what is going on here?
A transformer goes from Jesus Christ to a robot.
I didn't get you. No. All right.
Just play one more time. This is interesting. What people do with their spare time. Unbelievable.
So it's Jesus on the cross transforming.
Get you next time.
I just redeemed myself.
Yes, you did.
All right, so I'll play you one more.
All right.
And then we can continue with our cast. We go to, I believe is this guy. Let me see. Yeah. Electrical.
Electrical.
Number 4.
Yo, what happened here?
All right, let's see.
United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power. No kidding.
You're going to hell.
What is this man saying?
Yo, what happened here?
United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power.
I like this right here.
No kidding.
Oh my gosh. This guy, Biden, he's
a trip.
He needs to, he needs to step down at this point. I mean, what are you doing? Is he really running anything?
I mean, he's not here anymore.
I mean, he can hardly make a sentence.
One more out of "Are you going to hell?"
All
where
right.
it says "Say it."
All right, okay. Here.
He's so confused. Now remember, you cannot laugh. Are you going to hell?
Okay.
But this guy is so far gone. Like the video is self-explanatory.
All right.
So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it.
You know what he's trying to say,
Make
right?
America great again. We both got caught on that one.
Yeah.
So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it.
Think about it.
He almost. He was at the brink.
To make America great
relief
again.
and assistance that we have been providing
Jeez.
has included.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe this is who we have as our president. I mean, has it ever been this bad in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, no, because in my lifetime I saw Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Bush Sr., Bill Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, Trump, and now we're up to this guy.
And out of all the presidents, none of them has any of them been this bad, or?
No. I thought that Trump was going to be one of those, but Trump actually held his ground.
Yeah.
Bush Jr., he had his moments with America.
We have this saying in Texas, if fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, you can't get fooled again.
Yeah, that's as bad as it got. America. But not as bad as with Joe Biden.
Oh, my goodness.
This guy's atrocious.
Are you ready for one more video clip of Are You Going to Hell?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
The series.
All right, remember, the whole thing is you cannot laugh here.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to play it from the beginning.
The series. Ow! Shit. Ow! Where the f is it? Is for over 2 years. Ow! 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 Process through different. Might still be the. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You survived that one.
I survived only because, you know, if I laugh, I wouldn't go to hell because he's putting this shit on himself. You know, it's not like he has an impediment or,
right,
you know, or sick or whatever. And plus, you've played him before.
Yeah, I played him once before, but I figure I would get you with this guy.
No,
I will get you next time.
I beat you, Lucy. I beat you. And with that said, that concludes our AM PM show.
Welcome to the AM PM game show where Pablo and Anesto Morado attempt to determine what is going on in a video found online. Using only their ears and their third eye, the host will make a guess on what is going on. If the host gets guesses correctly, they receive $20,000 of a fiat currency that no longer exists. So what do you say, folks? Shall we play a game?
The worst health crisis we're facing in more than a century. Don't tell your supporters, don't be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID. Don't tell your supporters, don't be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID.
I just want to say they gave me Regeneron. We have hundreds of thousands of doses that are just about ready. And if you're in the hospital and you're feeling really bad, we're going to work it so that you get them and you're going to get them free. And especially if you're a senior, we're going to get should be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID. Everyone should be afraid of COVID. Is there no one who can tell them don't do this?
In October of 2016, WikiLeaks released the Podesta emails, over 20,000 pages of private emails from White House Chief of Staff John Podesta. This is the best example of an October surprise in our lifetimes. The Podesta emails opened the minds of millions to the fact that torturing children is a sort of sacrament to the vile creatures in control of our government. This 2016 October surprise became known as Pizzagate, and it was a deciding factor in many people voting against Hillary Clinton. Just as the Sean Combs child rape stories are dominating the public discourse, Hillary Clinton predicts an October surprise that will smear Kamala Harris, comparing it to Pizzagate.
What is something you see happening in the near future that we should be taking more seriously?
I anticipate that, something will happen in October, as it always does. I anticipate there will be a full court press in October. The digital airwaves will be filled. And why does that matter? Because the press that is pro-Trump anyway, oftentimes stories are put on digitally that then are picked up by, let's say, at Fox and others. And then those stories are stories, so the mainstream press reports on them, and so that story then takes on a life of its own. There will be concerted efforts to distort and pervert Kamala Harris, who she is, what she stands for, what she's done. The crazy story about me running a child trafficking operation out of a basement of a pizzeria, Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It was a huge story. It starts online, often on the dark web. It migrates. It's picked up by the pro-Trump media.
What do you think about that?
I think she just admitted, like, the crazy story of me running a child's sex ring out of the basement. I mean, out of a pizzeria.
I mean, she was with Bill Clinton with this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. And, you know, the part of that is, you know, underage girls.
But
you know,
she meant to say pizzeria, but she said basement.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, so, I mean...
Play the report.
It's then reported on by everybody else, which makes sure it has about 100% coverage, and people believe it. So I don't know what it's going to be, but it will be something, and we'll have to work very, very hard to make sure that it is exposed as the lie that it is.
It sounds like she is referring to the Sean Combs case, where hundreds of victims have already come forward, including dozens who were children at the time, and revealed that drugging and raping people in front of a crowd of famous people was a ritual event of the P. Diddy party.
Typically, the victim is lured into a situation where he or she is given a drink. Typically, that drink, reported by these victims, is apparently laced with something. Once that drink takes effect, the perpetrators perform all kinds of sexual acts on the victims, many times passing him or her around as other people watch and enjoy the show, and then leave the victim ashamed, confused, injured, and wondering what happened. The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. Anyone, of course, who engaged in the assault or exploitation, anyone who participated in such in any way, anyone who encouraged or facilitated this conduct, anyone who was in the room and watched it happen but made no effort to stop it, any venue or venue owner who was aware of what was going on but failed to stop it, any individual or entity who knew about the conduct and benefited from it but did nothing to report it or stop it, and any individual or entity who covered it up or helped cover it up. I would expect there are many people out there right now who are desperately searching their memories as they delete their texts and data.
Without knowing the target, Remote Viewers, the Future Forecasting Group, was assigned near future global events in the fourth quarter of 2024. Several of them saw what appeared to be a major event before the election.
I had a feeling that someone was planning a coup of some kind. Replacing one person with another, a swap or a change. It creates shock and awe, an unexpected change, like a last-minute sleight of hand before the show ends. Like a new teammate or a new candidate. A strong, powerful male was involved, a planned removal event.
I don't think this is Trump. This person looked younger. I wrote, you know, he reminds me of like Gavin Newsom, like that kind of look.
Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
Yeah, so
I'm getting chills by that remote viewing. Because I've been toying with an idea. What if the media does a lot to cover up their candidate? Remember how we were saying that, you know, how left can they go?
Right. I mean, for crying out loud, Obama's staff died in 3 feet of water and nobody...
Right. So something has leaked out that the media is helping Kamala with. And I'm going to have you verify it, but her husband, I think before he met Kamala, had a girlfriend or a lover that got pregnant, and he forced her to get an abortion.
Well, let's find out. But
what's her husband's name?
That's a great question. That would be the first man, right?
Yeah.
What is
the first dude?
Harris's husband. Let's see. Forget his name. Doug Emhoff. All right. Let's
Doug
see.
Emhoff.
Kamala Harris's husband is Doug Emhoff.
Emhoff.
He is an attorney and became the second gentleman of the United States after Harris was inaugurated as vice president in January 2021.
The second gentleman.
So Doug
is
how do I spell his last name? Emhoff?
Emhoff. Emhoff. What let's see. Well, as you can tell, we are in our conspiracy segment. But so before I pull up the research, let us begin the conspiracy segment.
Welcome to the conspiracy segment here on the Paramid podcast, where we challenge the narratives, question the unexplained, and shine a light on the hidden truths. Together, we'll dive into the theories that the mainstream dismisses. Everything from secret societies and shadow governments to mysterious disappearances. So keep an eye on the watchers with us, because in the conspiracy segment, nothing is as it seems.
Segment here on the Paramid podcast, and here's what our resident demon has to say about Doug Emhoff and abortion. Let's see.
Before Kamala Harris became vice president, Doug Emhoff didn't have a significant public profile, and there isn't a well-known story involving him directly advocating or making statements about abortion rights. Emhoff, a private attorney before his wife's political rise, didn't engage much in political activism in the public sphere. However, since Harris became vice president, both she and Emhoff have been vocal advocates for reproductive rights, particularly after the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade in 2022. Emhoff has spoken out more in support of abortion rights during this time as part of his role as second gentleman. If there are any recent developments or stories involving Doug Emhoff and the issue of abortion, I can look them up for you if you'd like.
Kamala Harris's husband Doug Emhoff had an affair with nanny Najan Naylor while married to first wife. Doug Emhoff, the husband of Vice President Kamala Harris, had an extramarital affair with Najan Naylor, the nanny of his children from his first marriage, according to an exclusive report by DailyMail.com. Naylor, who is now 47 years old, also worked as a teacher at the same prestigious private school in Los Angeles where Emhoff's children attended. The affair resulted in Naylor becoming pregnant, but it is unclear whether she kept the child. Social media posts from Naylor suggest that she may have had a baby girl named Brooke in 2009, around the time the child would have been born. Emhoff's first marriage to Kirsten Emhoff ended in 2009 after she discovered the affair. Their children, Ella and Cole, were 10 and 15 years old at the time. Naylor left her job at the Willows, the private school where she taught and worked as a nanny for the Emhoff family, following the revelation of the affair. The news of Emhoff's affair has reportedly caused concern within Harris's political campaign, as she prepares for the final push to win voters in the upcoming November elections. Kamala Harris's husband Doug Emhoff had an affair with nanny Najan Naylor while married to first wife.
So that's one thing I got from that. But you notice that the media has not even...
Kamala Harris's husband Doug...
No.
But I think Megyn Kelly has to wait. Let me see what she has to say.
No one's looked into this, I guess, other than the Daily Mail. Certainly Jen Psaki, I hope, wasn't aware of it when she let him get away with, "I've always been like this, a supporter of women, except when I'm slapping them in the face or banging the nanny on the ones I'm married to." behind the back of. I'm sorry, this is just, if this were a Republican, it would be leading every news channel. Every news channel. No one's looked into this, I guess, other than the...
She's right.
Right.
You know, you are all for women's rights and this and that, but you cheat on your wife with your nanny.
Right.
And there were rumblings that maybe he forced her to get an abortion. So again, the media goes to bat for the Democrats once again.
Right.
And protect them, and not a word of this information.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, you know, there's a lot of things going on that the media, I mean, clearly that James O'Keefe's story is showing that they are
Purposely helping Kamala.
Yeah, they're purposely helping. They're in lockstep.
But at the same token, as the media is helping Kamala, in my opinion, Kamala is not helping herself.
No.
Because how can, now we dive into another conspiracy, which is, we're on our conspiracy hour. Not our conspiracy segment.
Right.
This hurricane, which mysteriously hits red states, devastates them, and to the point that people were dying on trees. You know, the floodwaters got so high that the only way they could escape is by climbing up a tree, and people died clinging onto trees, lost everything, their home, their cars, their livelihood.
Right.
Expecting that at least FEMA was going to help. And FEMA said, sorry, no more money.
Well, I was expecting that because of this report that I have. This is from a documentary that I've bought a while ago. This was came out in 2020, November 29th of 2020. Take a look at this. Hold on. I'm going to go back just to give you the intro of this report here. For those that it's While the Rest of Us Die, great investment to have because it's not anywhere free. So you definitely got to save this somewhere. Check this out.
The first picture now coming in from Puerto Rico after taking a direct hit. Hurricane Maria slamming into the island.
When major disasters strike, it's always been the President of the United States' job to arrive on the scene with promises of help.
Emergency management now confirms 100% of Puerto Rico now without power, flooding in every direction.
One official saying the island is destroyed.
He's also there to offer emotional support to locals confronting death and destruction.
I've been to Puerto Rico many times. I've always loved it, and your weather is second to none, but every once in a while you get hit. And you really got hit.
You know, he goes down there, says a few words.
There's a lot of love in this room. A lot of love in this room.
Tosses a few paper towels, shrugs a little bit, and leaves. And then blames the Puerto Rican government for all the problems.
Survival cannot be our new way of life. Mr. Trump, do your job.
Now, obviously, they're making it about Trump here, right?
What year did this happen?
2020 or something like that, sometime before 2020. This Puerto Rico hurricane, I think it was like 2019 maybe. But
this is before the elections, way before the election.
Yeah.
Almost a year before the election.
Now, as you can see, they're building this narrative on Trump because this is Vice News, right? And Vice News is very slanted towards the left, right? But as you could see, I mean, we're not on any political party. We realize that this is all wrestling. This is all fake.
A dog and pony show.
So, but listen to the true thing here, because it's not just Donald Trump. It's everybody, any president that they put in there. There's nothing that they're going to be able to do for the people that get hit, as you can find out in this report here. But just listen to this intro here. I'll let it play out.
Negligent, it seems to be like the understatement of the century.
We've seen it time and again just how vulnerable we are and how wide the chasm is between the powerful and the rest of us.
For over 70 years, our leaders have told us one thing under the bright lights.
The protection of the lives and property.
I'm going to go back a second here because I want this audience to really pick up what this intro is saying here, because this is exactly what we point out in this podcast every week for about 104 episodes now, that they don't care about us, the people. Listen to this.
For over 70 years, our leaders have told us one thing under the bright lights.
The protection of the lives and property of Americans is the responsibility of all public officials.
I care. We're trying.
And it is my first duty as president to protect the American people.
We have it so well under control.
But America's shadow government has spent trillions of dollars on secret plans that serve one premise. When the shit really hits the fan, we're on our own.
I have nothing.
For decades, the government has invested trillions of dollars in a secret plan to save itself, while the rest of us die.
Now, this whole documentary is built on this, off of this book called Raven Rock, which goes over the fact that, indeed, the United States government does not give a flying fuck about our lives. They only care about themselves, folks. Surprise, surprise. They only care about themselves.
Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them.
Yes.
Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible.
Yep.
Everyone in this country is always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right. You have no right. We have a right. They don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up. Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize
they're not rights.
government...
They're privileges.
Exactly.
They're privileges.
They're privileges that can be, just like in prison.
Right.
You got you can go outside, play some basketball, lift some weights, but you step out of line, those privileges can be taken away.
Just like driving. Driving is not a right, it's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Right? So now, in this particular report of this, while the rest of us die, they specifically target into FEMA. And check out what FEMA's role is in all this.
All this shit happened.
Making FEMA
let me go back a second here. Hold on. Let's see.
Get people out. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, deploys.
FEMA often is a very good and useful piece of the government, but FEMA has gotten a bad reputation partly because it has been run by incompetence.
During Hurricane Katrina, FEMA's bad reputation was earned. The man Bush appointed to run FEMA was a Republican insider and an expert in Arabian racehorses with no experience in disaster planning.
FEMA and the government should have came in here the very next morning when all this shit happened.
Making FEMA an easy target.
The man running FEMA, he's an asshole.
There were a few disasters I was on where it was recommended
Fix everything
that,
my ass,
hours,
FEMA.
you don't walk around with your FEMA jacket on.
The secret history of FEMA.
First of all, FEMA
is the agency that's responsible for emergency response, but it's also the agency that's responsible for continuity of government.
Continuity of government, or COG, is a set of elaborate plans to ensure that no matter what happens, the U.S. government elite and its institutions will survive.
Enemy jet bombers carrying nuclear weapons can sweep over a variety of routes and drop bombs on any important target in the United States.
The plan was born in the early days of the Cold War, when Americans lived under the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. Citizens were reassured that plans were in place to keep them alive.
See, how come there's not any kind of drills or like things of that nature going on today when we have more nukes now than we've ever did?
Because the Cold War is over, and
Yeah, but we're in a proxy war with Russia.
Yeah, but this is.
So what? We're waiting for Russia to actually hit us first, or what? Or are we waiting to declare?
No, because how can I explain this to you? Because
is it antiquated or
because you didn't live through this?
No,
I did. This whole Cold War. Remember, I told you that the hatred between the two countries was so thick that even Wendy's.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Right. So it was this. There was this threat that the Soviet Union was gonna strike first.
How is it that we're not in a Cold War now?
Well, I think the Cold War never left.
Right.
They just relabeled it.
Right.
The Soviet Union got dismantled. And for those very few years, as the wall came down in Germany, people was under the misconception the threat is gone.
Right.
And maybe at some juncture, maybe the threat was gone. But what happened is the same thing that happens in the Middle East.
You pull back, and then they regroup.
They regroup, and they go from the Taliban, and they become Hezbollah.
Right.
They become Houthis. They become all these different
It's
factions.
like whack-a-mole.
Right. You hit one down and another one pops up. And when it comes to the Middle East, especially in Iraq, you leave the Taliban alone, or the country alone enough. The Taliban is like, how would I say, like Mordor, like in the
Mordor?
Mordor, yeah. In
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. You defeat it, and then it begins to regroup, and there comes again this evil eye thing, and it again springs up. So I think the people were under the misconception that the Cold War had ended indefinitely. But as you can very well see, there still was friction between America. It's not so much Russia, because the Soviet Union was
by the time I
huge.
grew up in the 90s with Russia, I mean, they were using Russian rockets to get into space.
They still are.
Well, not anymore. Now they got SpaceX.
Yeah, but we use the Russian space station.
Right.
So and that's the only place where we can.
But how does that make any sense?
Space is the only place where you can. How do I say this?
Collaborate.
Put aside our differences, and coexist as a planet. Is on this space station where you got Indians, you got Chinese, you got Americans, Russians, in a Russian space station and coexist without
How
any
does that
problem.
work when everywhere else on the planet is in turmoil and
I don't know, but
jockeying for power and whatever?
I think they should, whatever is going on that space station should be paid attention to, because these people tend to get along. But
I
then
mean, I think it's the government's, because the people, you could tell that, living in New York City, you could see that everybody basically gets along with each other.
Absolutely.
I mean, you rarely see people fighting over each other for where they come from in New York City. You fight over other stupid things, like you walking too slow or doing stupid things. But, in terms of race, color, and creed, they could care less about it, buddy.
Yeah,
and
but
I think
in a heated argument, the epithets kind of start.
I mean, yeah, I mean they can't. Oh, did you hear about Curtis Sliwa and his son?
I was listening to his show while it was actually
What's
breaking.
happening? Wow. Yeah,
Because New York right now, let me tell you, New York has become a freaking cesspool.
Well, that's what they wanted. They gave Diddy the keys to the city.
I used to work in that area. It was very safe. And now it is not safe anymore.
Let me see. What was it was a governor? Who is
Governor Patterson.
That's
he's sight challenged.
Let's see.
Governor Patterson and Anthony Sliwa.
Let's see. There we go. Patterson. That's it. Here we go.
We begin with that attack on former Governor David Patterson and his stepson. As police search for 5 suspects, the former governor tells Christy Kalishian exactly what happened.
It's really a fortune that it wasn't worse than it is.
Former New York Governor David Patterson recounts what police describe as a gang assault on himself and his 20-year-old stepson, Anthony Sliwa, the oldest son of Guardian Angels founder and former mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa. Police say they're looking for the individuals in this video who allegedly attacked the two at around 8:30 Friday night. Patterson says it started when they were walking their dog Bella on 2nd Avenue near their 97th Street apartment, when Patterson says Sliwa saw 3 people climbing up a fire escape.
He admonished them that he was going to call the police. They came down. They had a kind of a brief argument, and that was the end of that.
But about 45 minutes later, the two went back out without the dog, and Patterson says the crowd grew, possibly recognizing Sliwa from the first encounter, and became violent.
And he was holding off as many other people as he could, but then it became 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, and he was knocked to the ground and dazed by the
What a guy. He's really following in his father's footsteps.
Yeah,
and 4-1, I mean, damn.
They had to give him 16 stitches in his lips.
Ugh. Yeah, but 4-1, and he held his own. I mean, that's
what
impressive.
What this is when it broke.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, you get to hear the details of what happened, and the kids that were going up the fire escape,
mm-hmm.
and Curtis's son say, "Hey, what are you doing? Get down from there." They did get down. Then Patterson and Anthony Sliwa began walking the dog, and they encountered these 2 kids again. But the people that did the major damage,
mm-hmm.
get this, were the adults.
Wow.
The adults that were there when they happened to walk by.
Wow.
So, and it's kind of fascinating, like Governor Patterson is Curtis Sliwa's husband-in-law.
Right. It's a little...
Yeah, it's weird, but they get along. And, Curtis Sliwa and his wife got a amicable relationship because of their son and all that.
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like this happens. And he was on the air. You could tell he was worried. He was trying to mask it, but he was worried. But this is New York, and then as that report came out, right? They find out that this is in this area. It's a predominantly upper middle class area, and it
For
looks
that
like
to happen there.
Yeah, and it looks like it's happening more often than not because areas like that become a target.
Yeah, I mean, I bring up, I forget how we get onto Curtis Lewa, but you know, going back to how this is all a dog and pony show, this is all wrestling. I mean, you know, it shouldn't be on to Curtis or Anthony Sliwa to, you know, be handling this. Where's Mayor Adams? Where is all these people trying to like help?
Mayor Adams is in the midst.
He's in a battle, right? So who steps up?
Oh Christ! You don't want if they
what happens now? New York just descends to Gotham.
The controller Jumaane Williams, pull up who Jumaane Williams is in this picture.
All right, Jumaane Williams. Let's see.
This is the guy that will become mayor if
is he like what is it called, detained? Is he Mayor Adams?
No, he's awaiting trial.
So what happens? Is he still a mayor? Did he get shit canned?
He hasn't quit.
Is this guy Jumaane Williams?
Yep, that's him. Go to images.
This is who they got for Jumaane Williams.
That's him.
That's him right here.
And the guy, I believe the guy with the dreads, because he just cut his hair.
He was a pro football and an NFL star?
I don't know his... go to his bio.
Let's see. Jumaane is an American activist and politician who has served as a New York City public advocate since 2019. He's a former member, of the New York City Council from the 45th District, which includes East Flatbush, Flatlands, Marine Park, and Midwood in Brooklyn, a member of the Democratic Party and self-described Democratic Socialist. Williams was a member of the New York City Council from 2010 to 2019, has served as deputy leader of the city council and as chair of the task force on city workforce equity, a candidate for lieutenant governor of New York in 2018. He lost to the incumbent Kathy Hochul. Williams was elected New York City public advocate in 2019 special election to complete the term of Letitia James, who resigned to become an attorney general in New York. He was reelected in 2021. William ran for governor in 2022, losing to the incumbent governor, Kathy Hochul, in the Democratic Party.
So he's the guy next in line. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know nothing about him, but I've heard comments on people that do know anything about him. And supposedly he is as left as you can get. Like, this guy's like a real big socialist kind of guy. And if it was bad under Adams, it'll just go into chaos
under him. Well, so I was bringing up FEMA because of what recently happened with Hurricane Helene, and in the little report that I was showing you, it was going over the fact that, you know, they don't really care about you. They really care about...
They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice.
Right.
You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you.
Right.
They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear.
Now you hear why he's answering my question. Why are they so leftist?
Because
The
they got
media.
all the media in their back pocket.
They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested.
Now, that statement right there is very crucial. Because I think if Kamala Harris wins, it's because of low information voters. Because what has this woman done, for Christ's sake?
In that doesn't help them. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back.
Right.
So they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's it. So here's a little bit more on that and how it's a big club. Yeah.
April 29th, 1992. Los Angeles residents take to the streets to protest the beating of Rodney King and the acquittal of the LAPD officers who did it. The city erupts in flames.
Now pause it. This is where I don't understand. Because it happened in California, 1992, the year you were born. And then it happened again when George Floyd. Right? This cowardly tactic is why these terrorists in the Middle East
do what they do.
Because I think that people that do this are in the same category as these terrorists in the Middle East. If you have a problem with the way the Palestinians are being treated, don't go out and kill innocent people. Don't go out and bomb yourself.
Right.
Or bomb innocent kids.
Or businesses.
And women. And that have nothing to do with what's going on in your life.
Right.
Go to Bibi Netanyahu.
Right.
Or if you want your land back, gather an army and do the way Saladin did back in antiquity when they took back Jerusalem. Invade the shit. But don't hide behind bombs and terrorist act. That's cowardly. I put these people that did the thing with Rodney King and the Black Lives Matter
in the same
bucket. Same category. Which is why when they mention the January 6th, that it was an insurrection. Again, I have no dog in the race. If the Democrat benefits me, I go for the Democrat. If the Republican benefits me, I go for the Republican. If whoever benefits America is who I'm going for.
Right.
Because I know on both sides they're scumbags.
Right.
Right? But to do this, it's just cowardly. It's cowardly. So January 6th, they sincerely thought, and still do, and I'm sort of in that camp, that the election was stolen.
Right.
So instead of
the only people that got hurt were the people that were protesting.
right, but where I'm getting to is, instead of these people going to their neighborhood and burning their neighborhood down because they felt that the election was rigged, where did they go? To where the problem started from.
Right.
To where they thought who stole the election, where they came from.
Right.
Which is there, where
And
they
then
went.
They gaslight us into thinking that these people were dangerous to democracy, that they were dangerous people. But again, the only people that got hurt were them.
Right.
They were the ones being prosecuted. They're the ones that got shot.
But they get,
and they're the ones that got tear gassed.
But they get demonized
Right.
for actually protesting the election.
Right.
You know what? If you have a gripe, there was no other place to go but there.
Right.
Now, were there some bad actors in that protest? Yes. Did they do the right thing in going there? Yes. Are they against democracy because they went there? No. Because instead of them doing a Black Lives Matter, they went to the source of the problem. And our forefathers who made this country would have done the same. I mean, for Christ's sake, when they look what happened at the Boston Tea Party. The same thing.
Same thing. We were fed up.
We were fed up,
and we protested.
We protested at the proper place.
Right.
Where the problem was, where the problem is stemming from. So if these terrorists like Hezbollah, the Houthis and the Taliban, all these people stop playing these games and just join forces and try to kick Israel's ass, I would have more respect for them for trying to do it the right way. You know, I'm not saying that they're right. I'm just saying they believe they're right. Don't go and kill innocent people. Put babies in microwaves and rape women. Go and fight who is oppressing you.
Right.
But they don't. They do a cowardly act, just like these protesters do.
Right. So I'm taking clips here from While the Rest of Us Die, because they specifically go into FEMA here. And check out, and when Hurricane Katrina happened, look at their primary objective. This is going out to those that are been affected by Helene. Is it Helene or Helena? Hurricane.
Be honest, that's like the whole thing with Kamala. I don't know what that hurricane is named.
But in any case, that hurricane that hit and devastated those people that were hoping to get help from FEMA, I have to say, you, along with people in Maui, along with people in everywhere else, they don't care about you. And look at the things that they care about. Check this out. If I do a play here.
President Bush, returning to D.C. from vacation, diverts his flight to watch the unfolding crisis from 2,500 feet above.
It is a cataclysmic failure on every level.
Nowhere is the devastation greater than in the largely African-American Lower Ninth Ward.
The images from Hurricane Katrina of people clinging to life on rooftops has been burned into my memory, my conscience.
Wow. Without adequate food, water, shelter, or medical aid, residents are left on their own to survive.
It's a disgrace. We've been sleeping in the street for 5 days and nights. Somebody have to come to our rescue.
I got to Katrina as a reporter 3 days after the storm. I had been in Iraq 3 weeks before. It was disturbing how familiar the scene was of this destroyed infrastructure, civilian population in need, and there being no government to meet that human need.
And like in Iraq, when the U.S. military first arrived in New Orleans, the health and safety of the local inhabitants didn't appear to be the mission.
Check this out. Listen closely, folks.
A black helicopter literally came into New Orleans amidst the worst of the tragedy, and it turns out that they had been ordered into this federal building because there were blank passports there. We undertook this expensive and elaborate rescue effort to get blank passports out of a building in New Orleans rather than to save people. And that, to me, kind of symbolized also the fact that sometimes the federal government can have its own priorities, and they're not human priorities.
There's an old saying, when your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, which might explain why law enforcement came down so hard on survivors in the Big Easy.
The crisis in New Orleans was presented as if this was a crisis of security in terms of law and order and violence, and that the appropriate response was militarized policing.
With many of the jail facilities flooded, a makeshift holding facility is built in the city's bus terminal. People call it Camp Greyhound. Over 1,200 residents are rounded up and cycled through the jail. Basic rights are ignored. Many are never charged with a crime. Most are African American.
You hearing that? So, as opposed to helping these people, they round up some of the survivors and throw them in jail.
Now, how does that work?
Right? And
what was their crime?
What was their? And then the main objective for the military in Hurricane Katrina wasn't to help the people at all. It was to show force and treat these people like criminals. And then their secondary objective was to go in there and rescue blank passports.
Wow.
So that's just a little taste of, the disgustingness of our country. And, you think you're going to be saved by, we don't, I constantly think about, especially now that, we're seeing barrages of missiles going to Israel, and they got this Iron Dome system, right, to protect its citizens.
Right.
I don't think we have that system. Do we have that system? Do we have an Iron Dome?
No, and this is one of the things that why I kind of lean towards electing Donald Trump, because this is one of the things that he says, that Donald Trump has stated that it's now time for America to get the biggest Iron Dome ever built.
I don't think they're gonna get that funding, because they don't care. Their money has been spent on hidden bunkers.
But the optics of him
saying
that,
yeah, of course,
gives you like that warm spot in your heart.
But they don't care. They don't care. They just like the title of the show is, while the rest of us die, they're comfortably protected and continue on doing what they do, running the country, which is disgusting. But there's more.
Just a little update. We have approximately 23 minutes left in the cast.
All right. So really quickly, because I know you want to touch upon this. So not only could it be that, not only is FEMA, their big objective is continuation of government, COG, which they could care less about our well-being, and treated survivors like criminals. And that was in Katrina, but you could see that again with Maui. They don't care. I mean, all the money that they spent after Maui towards this war in Ukraine and all these other things, and these people in Maui are still not being funded, and
Right.
And this recently happened, right? So now we go into this other topic on how this storm even happened to begin with. And I know this is something you wanted to touch upon.
Yes.
All right.
Because there's, we're in this conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do is we dive into conspiracies.
Right.
It's just the events as of the last 5 years, as of the last...
just how coincidental. I mean...
As of the last 5 to 10 years, these events just lend themselves to conspiracy.
Right.
How can you not think, what the hell?
Right.
Because the synchronicity of these events at the time that they happen, it's just suspect.
Right. Or like what they were saying with Katrina, right? They had a plan in place since the 1980s to rebuild the levees or to build strong levees to handle those kinds of storms. And they delayed it. And even when it happened, they were still not completed with this project. And then they wonder why this happens, because their priorities are all shifted to something that has nothing to do with protecting us, has all to do with making other people rich. And that war in Iraq and all that stuff, all it did was make one man very rich, and that is the owner of Halliburton, who happens to be the VP at the time. So, I mean, what is it, Dick Cheney, who now is supporting Kamala Harris? I mean, come on. You could, like Bush said, fool me once, shame on me. fool me once, you can't get fooled again. So, I mean, yeah, I just can't believe.
And it's funny that you mentioned what happened in Maui. The people that have a lot to gain with what happened in Maui, because...
Yeah, because nobody there wanted to sell their property, and all of a sudden now they're like swooping in.
Right, and people like Oprah Winfrey, the quintessence that she talks out of both ends of her mouth.
Right.
That
had this whole rally for Kamala Harris.
Right. At one point, she thinks that Donald Trump is the bee's knees, and now it doesn't benefit her.
Right.
So now he's the Antichrist.
Right.
And the threat to democracy. All these people, in a nutshell.
I wouldn't doubt it that she had participated in one of these Diddy parties or Kamala Harris.
I don't doubt anything anymore. Anything anymore.
And then that whole thing that even Hillary Clinton was like saying, that she was supposedly involved, that there was a fake story with her involved in child pedophile ring. Well, what was this guy Jeffrey Epstein doing? I mean, that's why he got caught. That's why he got thrown in jail for child trafficking, wasn't it? So,
and not only that, like if you look at the Clintons' death count of people, all the people that they know, and then people be like, hey,
yeah, the guy.
If you know a lot of people, if you know like 1,000 people,
some of them end up killing themselves,
and some of them die of natural
causes.
But
not by a shotgun shell to the chest while they're hanging by electrical cords from their neck. That doesn't typically happen.
Or their life is great. They're at the happiest point in their life, and they just go into their car and blow their heads off.
Or how weird is it that you're writing a book on, let's just call it Obama, and you turn up dead in 3 feet of water.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, it's
the coincidences.
How stupid do you think the American public is?
I believe in coincidences. There's some wacky shit that has happened to me. You know, I mean, that I say, yeah, it's a coincidence or Murphy's Law. But at one point, you ask yourself, how many fucking coincidences can happen with a person back to back, and the synchronicity is just a little strange.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, how many? They don't have a picture of you in high heels over Jeffrey Epstein's fireplace,
right?
I mean, it's not like what would the odds on that be? You know, how coincidental could that possibly be?
If you see a person, right, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein constantly, right, and being buddy with Jeffrey Epstein, and then all of a sudden, what happened to Jeffrey Epstein? He eventually gets burned. Because let's be honest, Jeffrey Epstein did not get caught. He got burned.
Right.
The same way Diddy just got burned.
Right.
Because these guys are informants.
Right.
Right? And these guys work for the elite, the agency. And when they don't need them anymore, they do like in your favorite show, Burn Notice, they get burned.
Right.
So if you're hanging out with this dude,
yeah, like Diddy could, like just like that. I swear it could have been just like the show where Diddy must be saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna need some more money for this and that," and they're gonna be like, "No." Diddy's like, "Wait, hold on. This is Diddy talking. You know, I need money for this and that, whatever."
Remember, I'm the guy who
I'm your guy, and they'd be like, "You're burned. Sorry, I can't talk to you."
Right, like
done.
Diddy's under the impression like, dude, I told you about this guy.
Right.
This guy was the guy you guys
were looking for.
Yeah, I told you he was.
Right.
And they're like, who are you?
Right.
And right now, Diddy is sitting in jail like, I just got played.
Right.
I mean, he's a scumbag nonetheless
for
doing what he did. But at the same time, he probably was an informant. Just the same way Jeffrey Epstein must have been informing and had dossiers on all his people that would go to his island.
Check. Let's see if I can play this.
But before you play that, I know we are short on time. Shit, we only got 13 minutes.
Yeah, we got quick.
But what I wanted to say is, if I'm associated with Jeffrey Epstein, right, and you see videos of me with Jeffrey Epstein, then all of a sudden they're saying, yo, this dude is a pedophile too? You're not going to be like, no, not him. Now, if the government comes down on me, right? Like right now they're knocking on my door.
Right.
And they'd be like, you're getting banged for so-and-so. I'm like, I've never even met this guy.
Right.
Then you could be like, no.
Right.
But if they have proof of me, like at a party, like the way Donald Trump was, like,
yeah, laughing
and having a good time with Jeffrey Epstein, right? So if it comes down that Donald Trump is a pedophile, people shouldn't be like, what?
Right.
No, this guy was rubbing elbows with Epstein.
Right.
Bill Clinton was rubbing elbows with Epstein.
Oh, I wonder how many Diddy parties Trump has been a part of.
Chris Tucker was rubbing elbows with Epstein.
Oh, yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr.
Rubbing elbows with Epstein.
All of them. With not even Epstein, all Epstein and Diddy and all of them.
So if it comes out that Jay-Z and
which it did,
Jay-Z and Beyonce
Yep.
are like
It came out
in a cult, and
Yep, it came out. That came out actually.
Are you gonna be like, what? Jay? No.
Not
Oh
Jay-Z.
my God. Not Beyonce.
They're
the
all
queen.
Oh yeah. I forgot who
Dude, what planet are you on?
I had in my job, in my where I work, there was a couple of coworkers, making fun of each other, saying, "Oh, you like Diddy," or "You look like you're wearing clothes to go to a Diddy party," or whatever. And they were going back and forth, and they were just making fun of him, saying he's like a Diddy supporter or whatever. And I'm like, aha. But then who do you listen to? What's your guy that you like listening to? And then he's like, oh, well, I like, whatever his name was, such and such. I'm like, he's just as guilty as everyone that is associated with Diddy. And they're like, no, not him. I'm like, dude, that's how it goes over there. You want to be anywhere in those studios, you got to dance.
Did you know that Anesto Morado, he built a sauna in his basement? No. What?
No way.
And he has a steam room in his basement? What? Dude, and then I'm the other guy. Like, dude, this guy's been going to the Russian spas for years.
Right.
He loves that shit.
Right.
It's only
the best is when you start going back and you start replaying some of these. They say it loud and proud. Like Diddy said on Conan, he was like, oh yeah, so here's a couple keys to the Diddy party. You got to make it nice and hot, and you got to have good locks on the doors. What do you need that for? What do you need? What are these things for? Or like one of the people that a lot of people like is Drake, and I would not give him a pass. Drake is just like anyone else. You know why I feel that way? Because the day of this Astro World concert that he participated in, where people were like dancing and they looked down and they were like, this floor is a little spongy. This floor is a little spongy. It feels a little soft because there's human beings that you're standing upon. And
it's funny that you mentioned Drake because I saw him live in the streets of Hoboken.
You saw him live in the streets of Hoboken?
Yeah, he was hanging out. He had like a real snazzy car, and there was a bunch of his like disciples hanging on his every word.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I know this dude. Where do I know this dude from? And then I looked at him, and then I Googled, because it looked like Drake. I was like, it can't be Drake. And it was him. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I want a spa-like experience in my basement should not surprise you, because I like steam rooms and saunas.
Right.
The fact that I have alien and weird paintings behind me because I like that stuff, and I surround myself with this kind of stuff. I like it. I like to paint weird things. So that shouldn't surprise you.
Right.
So when they say, oh, Beyonce and Jay-Z could be into human trafficking and possibly into sacrificing, and dude, they tell you, they kind of like let you know by the way they do certain things, and they're hanging out with Diddy.
Yeah.
Why should that surprise you?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things going out there that people are not aware of. But what was I gonna play? First of all, I was gonna show this here.
The whole thing with
one of the things that were going on with Clinton. I was gonna fact check you with that, and how the Clintons, like, you shouldn't be shocked if they get roped into this stuff too, because Mark Middleton was a former aide to President Bill Clinton. He served as a special assistant to the president during the 1990s and was involved in arranging meetings for Clinton, including some with Jeffrey Epstein. Middleton's death occurred under controversial circumstances. He was found dead in May 2022, recently, at a ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. His death was ruled a suicide, and the details of the incident included him being found hanging from a tree with an extension cord and having a shotgun wound to his chest, and that was ruled a suicide. Now imagine that.
So while he was hanging, he blasted his chest.
How do you?
While you're struggling and getting that shotgun.
How do you do that? Come on, ruled a suicide. I mean, come on. And then when it comes to Drake, you know, Drake had this incident where at Astroworld, and he spends $1 million after hearing that people died at Astroworld. He goes to a strip club and spends $1 million doing what? And this was on, a New York Post story. I mean, what could be worth $1 million at a strip club?
Lord knows, because
one day after rapper Drake performed at the tragic Astroworld Festival in Houston, during which some people were trampled to death, he apparently drowned his sorrows by showering strippers with money, according to the social media. The Canadian rapper left about $1 million on the floor at the Area 29 strip club in Houston.
Now, let me ask you this. I know he has a lot of money, but the fucking guy is rolling around with $1 million. What, did he have a suit? He has suitcases of this?
I guess so. $1 million to shower a stripper with.
This world is just twisted.
But after
$1 million, you know how many people that can feed?
Yeah, a lot. He could have given that, divvied it up to the victims' families, but instead he spends it on a strip club doing God knows what. And I really believe he's doing the same things that Diddy does. It's just not reported yet.
This is rampant. In that industry, I hate to say it, in that industry, if you hear that, what's this guy with all the scribble on his face?
Post Malone.
You hear that Post Malone is like, has groupies and is accused of this and that. It should.
But supposedly he's a really nice guy. Supposedly, but
I mean, I don't know him.
Right.
I don't know him. I don't know his music, and I've heard. He has. What's his name again?
Post Malone.
Post Malone has not made a dime from Mr. Morado. I've never spent not even a hair in my ass on Post Malone.
Okay.
But I must admit, I've run into his tunes. They are catchy.
Yeah, he's not bad. The thing is that the industry would not let you rise to the point of being noticed.
But if you hear and you say supposedly he's a nice guy, because you gotta forgive me for bringing him up as an example, but sometimes you judge a book by the cover, and I'm sort of guilty of that, because I see a guy with scribble all over his face and all over his body, automatically.
You know why he did that?
No,
just as a fuck you to his mother.
Then he's a scumbag.
Well, apparently his mother was a scumbag as well. So,
well, you know what? I don't care how bad your parent is. If you have a problem with your mother and your father, just let it be. They gave you life. And in my opinion, if they did anything bad to you, you just walk away. But if he's out there admitting that he did that to his face just as a F you, I just don't agree with it. I don't know. When it comes to that mother and father kind of deal, you know, I know there's some bad parents out there. There's some horrible parents.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, they're your parents. I mean, that's but that's not what I'm getting. I judge the book by the cover. He got all this shit written on his face, and I automatically assume that he's, you know, on the wrong side of society. My bad. You understand? But
Right.
when you see the cholos in
Well, that's why I like this
jail.
guy. That Mexican OT is a new upcoming rapper. His mom is a drug dealer, and his father is a gangbanger. And he ended up.
He's a nice product of society.
Well, they both funneled him into this rap game, and he's making good money. And he's like, you know what?
He comes from good stock.
Well, he's like, listen, you know what? I made something out of my life, but my mom was a drug dealer. My dad was a gangbanger. And he makes no, he doesn't sugarcoat it at all. And I'm like, okay, well, at least you're honest about who you are. At least you're not trying to pretend to be something you're not. At least you're saying, listen, I come from gangbanging and, and drug dealing. That's what we do. I'm a rapper in this whole thing, but it is what it is. At least at that point you can say, look, I mean,
that's a productive person in society, but we digress.
We digress.
I want you to get back to that report.
Yes, please. Yes. So, like we always do. I don't know how we always fall down these weird topics, but here we go.
But I think we should end it on this and put it up to be continued, because this, if I know Greg Reese, this is going to be good.
Oh, yeah. This is a great report here. So I'm going to play this here for you. All right.
Eminent domain, folks. Remember that. Eminent domain. Pause it. I know
we have had the technology to create, control.
We're in a time crunch. I know we're in a time crunch. We're at the 3-hour mark.
Yes.
I just got to get this off my chest.
Okay.
Isn't it weird that when you hear, oh my God, the storm of the century is about to hit. This hasn't happened in the million years. People evacuate. It's Armageddon. And then the storm comes.
Nothing.
Yeah. And then the day that it actually happens, oh, yeah, there's a storm called Helen.
Right.
It probably will hit the panhandle. And right now it's a tropical storm. It has been upgraded.
Right.
And then it's just
no big deal.
No big deal. And that's the one that,
yeah.
Isn't it weird that it works out like that?
Yeah, I mean, either one of two things. Either that is intentional.
So that you can go out and buy a whole skid full, a whole pallet of toilet paper.
Right. I hear a lot of people blame that a lot of these...
I know we digress, but, we had, I think, 2 days of the dock worker strike.
Right.
People already, this lady bought 250 rolls of toilet paper.
Oh, you're going to need toilet. I mean, is that really that important? Do you really think?
Whatever happened to, bread and milk?
Right. How did toilet paper become the commodity to have? Just wash your ass.
And guess what, lady?
Just take a cup of water and wash your ass.
And guess what? Lady? You dummy. Estúpida. Toilet paper does not come over to the docks. We make toilet paper.
As a matter of fact, the Markel plant is in Jersey.
We make it.
It's in Jersey.
We make it. Estúpido.
Oh, man.
We make the shit.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So let's go back to this report here.
Steer hurricanes for decades. Project Cirrus is the first official attempt to modify a hurricane. It was run by General Electric with the support of the U.S. military. The official theory was that by changing the temperature outside the eye wall of a hurricane, which they did by seeding the clouds with various compounds such as silver iodide, a decrease in strong winds will result. On October 13th, 1947, Project Cirrus targeted a hurricane heading out to sea. Approximately 180 pounds of dry ice was dropped into the clouds. The crew then reported a pronounced modification of the cloud deck, and the hurricane abruptly changed direction and made landfall near Savannah, Georgia. The public blamed the government. Irving Langmuir, who pioneered General Electric's atmospheric research department and admitted that the project was about learning how to weaponize the weather, also claimed the reversal of the hurricane had been caused by Project Cirrus, but the government denied it for 12 years. After a short delay, the project officially continued, and in 1965, Project Storm Fury had targeted Hurricane Betsy for seeding. On that day, the storm immediately changed direction and made landfall in southern Florida. Congress blamed it on Project Storm Fury, but the government claimed that the hurricane shifted before they ever had a chance to seed it. And after 2 months of congressional hearings, the project was allowed to continue. In 1997, U.S. Defense Secretary William Cohen admitted we have the technology to control the weather, including earthquakes and volcanoes. The U.S. government has placed gag orders on employees of the National Weather Service. In October of 2012, after Hurricane Sandy weakened to a tropical storm, microwave imagery shows a thick red beam immediately followed by Sandy growing into a Category 1 hurricane and taking an unexplained left turn into New Jersey. The push towards alternative energy demands more lithium, and according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the United States has over 6 million tons of identified lithium resources. The majority of this lithium has been identified in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Kings Mountain is believed to have one of the largest resources in the world, but the biggest problem is that people live there and they don't want their quiet towns turned into lithium mines.
People in Cherville have been pushing against a proposed lithium mine for the last several years, but everyone we spoke with here said it's too divisive of an issue to share their opinion on camera. Cherryville is a small, quiet town.
I think that's good that we keep it small.
So quiet, many don't feel comfortable speaking out against Piedmont Lithium's proposed mining operation nearby.
I think we're a silent majority. I think a lot of people are afraid to say anything about it because they are bringing a lot to the town as far as money.
Last year, the Department of Defense entered a $90 million agreement with Albemarle Corporation to increase domestic production of lithium for the nation's battery supply chain, specifically from Kings Mountain, North Carolina, starting by 2025. This is the same area experiencing what is being described as biblical floods. While the federal government spends billions on foreign wars and illegal immigrants, they simply cannot be bothered with the health and well-being of the American people, especially those living on coveted mineral-rich land. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg.
That was a great
Reporting
picture.
for InfoWars, this is Greg. Especially.
Look at that. Sorry, can't help. Shit out of sorry, out of money, can't help. Biden gives money straight to Zelensky, while our people are drowning.
Zelensky, the greatest con man to ever walk on earth. Every time he comes to the United States, he leaves with a couple $1 billion.
And I know this is referencing, was it North Carolina that got hit?
Mm-hmm.
You can see they're underwater, but this is representative of all of us because we're all drowning in debt, in financial troubles, in unaffordability, and in all these things. We're all drowning here.
It's funny because while this is happening, right, people have lost their homes. They're in trouble,
right,
because of this hurricane. They're offering them $750 as like, here, shut up,
right,
and deal with it. It's not our problem, But
what is that gonna do?
But Zelensky and everybody else gets all. Even Iran. If you start digging deep, our own enemies are benefiting from millions of dollars. But the people of the United States, when they need it, you go and you want some public assistance, they deny you because you make $1 too much. Denied you the scraps that they give, which is, but yeah, if you come from another country as an illegal alien, you get food stamps.
$15,000 in food stamps.
Yeah,
like that.
$15,000 in food stamps. You get a monthly, and you get to live at a swanky hotel for free.
Right. For free.
Indefinitely. Because it's supposed to be like a 30-day thing, but they just never leave. And they just continue to get the money.
And yet our own people are suffering.
And yet when people, taxpayers, are in need and you do it legit, if you go for public assistance and you do it legitly, like with all your ducks in a row, this is what I make and this is what happened to me.
You get fucked over.
Yeah, they tell you, I'm sorry, we can't help you.
Right.
But if you go there and you lie and you say, oh, this and this and that, they give it to you. It's as if they entrap you.
Yes.
I was talking to this guy, and this country's hurting. I was talking to this guy. He came to our neck of the woods because he had a family member who passed away.
Okay.
And he's from Seattle. And he tells me, oh, Seattle is, booming right now. There's Google. There's T-Mobile is over there. All these tech companies. But when you live out there, they price gouge everything. Everything is double the price that it is in here. So over there, you see a lot of homelessness. And you say to yourself, how can there be so much homelessness in a place that's booming? He says everybody that lives in Seattle and works at these swanky places like Google and Microsoft and T-Mobile and all this, they get canned. They get denied. If you get fired, you're homeless. You're homeless.
Wow.
Because even though you guys are making good money, but when you're paying $3,000 for a closet and everything is expensive, even though you're making a lot of money, you're still living day to day. So if you get fired, the unemployment is not going to help you.
Right.
And boom, you're homeless. But go out and see if you can get some help from the government. They're not going to help you.
Right.
So this is what we've digressed into this strange place where outsiders get everything and we get nothing. You giving money to Zelensky, giving money to the to the Ukrainians, and all this money to help other people, but they never help their own. And yet, people were giving Trump slack because he was giving he gave, what do they call that? Those incentive
The stimulus.
the stimulus. And people are saying, "Oh, you're staying home. You're juicing the government." And fuck you.
Right.
You know, we've paid into this.
Right.
And if there's a pandemic and they're offering me to stay home so I can guard my health, you're going to judge me for something that I have paid into?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
And talking about price gouging, in 2020, this is a study that's been done. In 2020, the average income to buy a home was about $55,000 to $65,000. What you needed to earn to buy a home
in 2020.
In 2023, the income has risen to $100,000 to $120,000 to buy a home.
In New York, you want to buy a home in New York? You need $100,000 nut
at the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
And so, yeah, you lose your job, you're homeless. I mean, how can you double your income when nobody is raising your salary?
It's fucking ridiculous. But again, this Greg Reese report, very provocative. It just happens to be that the place that got the brunt of the storm and got devastated just happens to be a lithium.
What are the odds in that?
What are the odds on that? And then what are the odds that the places that got devastated just happens to be red states and they might not be able to vote?
Right.
What are the odds on that?
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're only days out from the election. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's
this year went by fast.
I remember being here last week. I took a day off and I blinked, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
It's going by fast. And the October surprise, I mean, I don't know what it's gonna be, but you heard it. Those what do you call it? The remote viewers were mentioning that there's going to be a last minute swap.
And would it surprise me that, you know, the reason I brought up what's going on with Kamala's husband and the fact that he, you know, could have did something to this woman to threaten her to abort the child and all this stuff. The reason I bring that up is I said something to the warlock that, and I said this in the heat of the summer, that maybe the October surprise is they're going to come out with something so damning on Kamala Harris that she might say, you know what? After further review, I don't want to be president. And she steps down. Then what? Then what? What if she just decides not to run? Then what?
That's a great question. I don't know. Is that something that happens? Has that ever happened?
I don't know if that's ever happened at this late stage of the game.
I don't know. But I
let's end this with first of all, we haven't done this for a while. For people that are just tuning into the Paramid podcast, we have different echelons on our show. We got the Wellepus. Those are the people that pop in and out and just don't stay tuned to the show. You got the Wellepus that they stick around and see what we're talking about, that really don't comment and provide content to the show or ask us questions. And then we have the Verdugos, the executioners, the people that are hip to the game and provide content to the Paramid podcast. And Verdugos that do come on the show and provide content, we give you some fanfare to celebrate you being part of the show. We haven't done shout outs to our Verdugos in a while and our Bobolongos. Next week we shall do that because we're running short on time. I want to thank everybody that has joined in and taken a peek at the Paramid podcast. there's so much to cover that, goodness, we don't have 3 hours is just not enough.
Right.
But again, I want to thank everybody. And have you, now that we have ChatGPT, ask her the question: what if Kamala Harris drops out? Who comes in? How do
Okay.
they go about that? And then we'll go into our prayer, our ultimate Om. As far as space news, there's not very much on the alien front. Again, I've heard back to the itch that you get from that Israeli space guy who said that Donald Trump knows about aliens and there's a galactic force. I heard a very provocative thing on the Frank Morado show that we will unpack in further podcast. But in space news, if you guys look up right now, I think the moon is hardly visible because it's at that very fine nail-looking stage. But we have right now, we have 2 moons.
We have 2 moons.
Yes. This is a phenomena that has been happening, over the past 40 years. But if you Google real quick, we have 2 moons.
Okay.
And they will explain how we have a visitor that is orbiting us as a moon. We can officially confirm the Earth has indeed acquired a second moon following the capture of asteroid 2024 PT5. On Sunday, September 29th, our planet captured a tiny asteroid named 2024 PT5, transforming it into a temporary
mini
moon. It's not visible because it's only like 36 feet high, and I think about 24 feet wide, and it's about the size of a school bus. So right now we have a second moon, and in about 57, it lasts about 57 days before it disappears again
into the solar system.
Into I believe it comes from. Can you expand on that?
Let's see.
So that they can explain how this happens.
So what exactly are mini moons? Mini moons, such as a 2024 PT5, are small asteroids that Earth's gravity captures temporarily, allowing them to orbit our planet before moving on. Typically, these little asteroids travel around the sun like their counterparts, but when they come close enough to Earth, our gravitational pull can draw them into a brief orbit. Their stay is usually short-lived. They may linger for a few weeks or months before breaking free and resuming their journey through the solar system. Scientists are particularly intrigued by mini moons because they provide an opportunity to study near-Earth objects up close, enhancing our understanding of how the solar system operates.
And update on Apophis, the April Friday the 13th of 2029. I believe
might be a really devastating day.
I know I have a little fear about, but I believe NASA if they haven't already, they're gonna send something to land on Apophis to see
if they can push it.
Yes.
So they're doing, what's that movie?
Don't Look Up.
No, not Don't Look Up.
Oh no,
Bruce Willis.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yes.
Yeah. And Liv Tyler. What's her name?
Yeah.
Liv Tyler or something. Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's if you're so confident that this thing is not gonna hit us, why are you sending? Can you Google that real quick?
Yeah.
People don't think that I'm making shit up.
Apophis. All right. Yes, asteroid Apophis could be pushed off course, by smaller asteroids and other smaller means.
No, Google is NASA sending a probe to Apophis.
All right. Yes, NASA is sending a spacecraft to study the asteroid Apophis in 2029. The spacecraft will fly by Apophis on April 23rd, 2029. Then wait, isn't that a little bit too late? Isn't that when they're supposedly and then rendezvous with it in June? The mission's objective includes studying how the asteroid's orbit and rotation will change. Apophis is a near-Earth asteroid that will be visible but to the naked eye during its close approach to Earth in 2029. The asteroid was once considered a potential threat to Earth, but astronomers were able to rule out a collision using advanced radar and ground-based telescopes.
So that right there is a little disingenuous. They're not there. They're not sending.
Oh, and I got some, and I finally laid down the video, the groundwork for next week. This is gonna be a very exclusive conspiracy that I have growing on about Google, and just dropping some hints. This time around, when we usually do the conspiracy segment, we usually have, an idea of the conspiracy and we build it up live here on the cast. This is a special report. I'm taking keys from Mr. Greg Reese and doing something on my own, very similar, piecing together some things that I've been looking into that will be coming out next week.
All right. So with that said, let's get ready.
One final thing I wanted to leave, because in this cast we always say that what do they call it, the Satanists and the people, they have to show what they're doing before they do it.
Yeah, part of the cult's golden rule is they must tell you what they're gonna do
before
they do it.
Now
it's just the way Nosferatu, Dracula, cannot enter your home unless he's invited.
Unless he gets permission, exactly. So the thing is, I've been following, because this show, The Expanse, was a collaborative effort brought into life by people like Elon Musk and people that we like Adam Savage and all these people. But there's a lot of high ups and scientific people that have pushed to get this produced and created. And this show is placed some point in the future where we are a multi-planetary species, right? But I just wonder what kind of future are they laying out here? Because we might have our first Indian woman president, right? Indian descent president. And it's a possibility, folks. You never know. Kamala Harris could be elected. And
there's a very good chance that she could be
exactly. So in this show, I just find coincidental that
the person in power happens to be
right. So the person in power, there, if I can show you their character of what are you supposed to look like. Hold on.
She's a famous actress too.
Hold on. So this guy here is supposedly what is considered to be the Joe Biden, or he more to me resembles like what's that governor from California? What's his name? Gavin Newsom. He's kind of like a Gavin Newsom character. In the future, they don't have such things as presidents of the United States. They've done away with that in this particular show. And again, this has been created by people that to make it as accurate of a future as possible, right? So supposedly in the future, the world is governed by the UN, right? And in the UN basically has what is called the Secretary General, right? And this is the Secretary General himself, right? He's kind of like a Joe Biden type figure, right? And if you look into the plot, this guy who serves as the UN Under Secretary of Defense plays a key role in destabilizing Earth's political situation, right? So he's destabilizing Earth's political situation, similar to what Joe Biden is doing too. Like he's destabilizing America's political situation by, with these attacks on Trump and using the lawfare, right? He's doing a lot of destabilization. Aaron Wright is deeply involved with secretive deals with this guy and his character, Jules Pierre Mao, the head of Mao Kawasaki Mercantile, to develop what is called a proto-molecule. If you know the show, you know what it's referring to. But it's an alien technology that can give Earth a massive advantage over Mars and the belt. Now, in this particular point in time in the show, Mars and is another colony of human beings, and we have human beings out in the asteroid belts.
Right.
Now, however, this secret project threatens the stability of the entire solar system. Aaron Wright manipulates a political landscape to escalate tensions between Earth and Mars. Very similar. Like if you could just replace Earth and Mars to America and Russia, it's very similar on how this is looking to me as somebody that was a fan of this show. It's like too coincidental that it would be so damn close. It just doesn't make sense why they would be that close. He goes as far as launching a preemptive strike against Mars, which I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do with Russia. Or is Israel going to be the one doing the preemptive strike? I'm not sure. But in any case, there's a fallout. And
Zelensky might be by way of proxy.
Right. And this woman who is named Christian Avasarala, she is like this aide, somebody in political sphere, but not nobody that was voted into power. She ends up being at the helm of this, very similar to Kamala Harris. And the thing is that she ends up using the office as like has her own personal vindictive, a staff. Like she has her own agenda against, or not even going along with the people, the public of Earth or whatever. So I'm thinking there's a lot of foreshadowing for those folks that want to watch the show Expanse. Again, it's made by these politicians that are working on this, and I think they're leaving us clues in this. But
crumbs,
right? Little crumbs of what might be happening in the future. But I think the October surprise, might just be that they might find a way to kick out Mr. Biden, and if something happens between now
and
January, where we're declared into a state of emergency, let's just say, I don't know, a lot of people are claiming that, since Iran is unsuccessful, that's why I asked, do we have an Iron Dome? If Iran is unsuccessful at bombing Israel because of their Iron Dome, how much longer are they going to wait before they start attacking us? Because maybe they can't hit Israel, but they can hit us. There's a lot of things going on. I mean, I just see some parallels to the show because of how, there's an Indian woman president that didn't get elected, just get swept into power. It just seems so. I mean, how often, how does that happen in real life where an Indian woman get swept into the election and now could potentially be elected president.
Well, you know what they say.
When nobody wanted her to be president before this incident or the debate with Trump. Nobody wanted anything to do with her.
Art imitates life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or maybe they're leaving us clues because they're the ones that are, helping create this thing, giving their input, like Obama, and leave the world behind. He's leaving his input, and who better to know what's going to happen than Obama himself? So I don't know. I might be, making connections because
I tell you what, put 3 dots at the end to that sentence, and let's move on because we gotta skedaddle.
All right, you did. You pulled me an Adam from Patrick Bet David podcast. Just get to the point and let's move on. And with that, it's time for our final segment, our Om segment.
Turn off the light. Take a deep breath and
I'd like to finish with ohms. This is not a cult or a religion. It's just ohms, okay? We're going to relax our breath. This is a meditation pose, lotus pose, whatever you want to call it. Don't be afraid of your own voice. You're in your house, make some sound, no one cares. You're basically massaging the central nervous system, which, trust me, needs massaging.
Now, as we're in the Om segment, I just want to quickly shout out Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment for this wonderful shirt. The future does look bright, folks. The future looks bright, despite the fact of all these things that we're discussing and divulging and showing. At least we have the ability, as little as we are, to put these people in their place, to call them out. This is an ability that we did not have in the early 2000s. This is an ability that we did not have even in the since before 2020. We didn't really have this platform, this thing that we built here, and we built it because people like you really want to hear from us. So we thank you all.
No, and not only did people want us to do it, but I believe that this is how we contribute to the conversation and how we share our opinions. And maybe by us sharing our opinion and the way we think and sharing content, it might waken other people to the mindset that everything you see is not the way it is, that there's an agenda. And it might just, spark your brain to become more active in the world that we live in.
And the way I think about it is right now, there is a huge drought for true, factual news that is actually going on, that is fact checkable, that is not being slanted by the right or the left. As you can clearly see, we're more than willing to throw Donald Trump as well as Kamala Harris under the bus for things that they've actually done. We don't trust the entire system as a whole. They haven't earned our trust. They haven't done anything but lie to us year after year after year. If you think they're doing anything for us, folks, think again, because at the end of the day, they're not thinking about us. They're thinking about how they can preserve their own power.
And this is the object of our cast, is to make you go out there, make your own opinions. Don't believe everything that you hear on the television and see on the television. And this is the object, is to give you another perspective that is not skewed one way or the other.
And with this knowledge, you could prepare, you can plan, and you could find ways to take advantage of this time here, because just like people were affected and hurt negatively by the 2008 financial crisis, there was also a lot of people that benefited tremendously. Companies like Uber and Netflix and all these other companies that came out of the 2008 crisis. So as we're shifting into the next phase of our country, there's going to be a massive way that you can build wealth and build a future that is something that you'd want to live and hopefully regain a foothold on the American dream. That's my goal for doing this, and hopefully we're that spark in that drought that lights the fire of thought.
Absolutely. And with that said, let's close our eyes, let's think happy thoughts, and let's evoke positive energy, positive thought. And the way we do that on this show, every closing of the show, we do this through a small prayer to evoke positivity, good energy. We do it through a prayer, and we own. So with that said, let's bow our heads and recite this little prayer. Holy Father, fill me with your divine light and overflowing positivity. Grant me the strength to radiate love and joy in all that I do. Guide me to attract positive energy and repel negativity. May your presence uplift my spirit and bring hope to those around me. Amen.
Amen.
So we'll take a deep breath. And exhale, repelling all that negative energy. With that said, folks, thank you for joining us at the Paramid Podcast. Keep your eyes open with eyes in the back of your head, because we are headed for a roller coaster.
That's right.
The elections are almost here. There's sightings of UFOs everywhere. They might be amongst us. Tons of activity up in the sky. I believe we are going to see the Draconid meteor shower, and there might be a potential of us viewing a massive meteor shower in the Draconid, in the, I believe is the Draconid constellation of the serpent. But it's been reported that we're going to see a huge meteor shower, and that hasn't been around, I believe, since like the early 80s. So that's going to be interesting. So with that said, folks, I want to thank you. I am Anesto Morado.
And I'm Pablo Morado.
And remember, if the universe is infinite, then so are the possibilities. And furthermore, the paranormal is all around us. We just got to look closely. Peace, folks.
Peace, folks. Have a good night.
Good night.
And thank you for watching.
Troglodyte out of troglodyte out I'm going to give you the whole load today.
That's true, because it's true. But it's also true.
Welcome to the most banned podcast on the internet with your hosts, Anesto and Pablo Morado. Broadcasting to you from the depths of the Nebuchadnezzar and fighting the unseen hand in search of truth. Join us as we go digging in the valley of the real for current events, conspiracies, and paranormal phenomenon. This is the Paramid podcast. Don't forget to follow us at paranormal.experience on Instagram, at Paramid Podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Paramid Podcast on YouTube. Every follow and like gets us one step closer to exposing the fools of the deep state. So let's light a fire of wisdom and take back our sovereignty.